Top of the morning, traders, and happy Monday, April 13th, and welcome to the Most Value Pack Live Trading Show, where we live trade, breakdown charts, cover impact events, and talk trader mindset. Hope everyone had a wonderful weekend, is ready to kick off another opportunity-filled day and week. Big thing today is, of course, we have the blockade. The Strait of Hormuz blockade taken into effect at 10 a.m. Eastern. So again, we can see some volatility during that time. So exercise as much caution as possible. Wait for your setups. Be patient. Quality over quantity. What happened last week stays in last week. What happened on Friday stays on Friday. Let's look for the best opportunities and try to be as present as possible. So the weekly open is going to be 677.41. So keep these weekly opens on your chart for the rest of the week across all these indexes, especially if you're trading SPY. 677.41 on SPY, 609.47 on the Qs, 476.14 on the Dow, and 260.27 on IW. So IW is above that daily downside breaker. So prior day's low so far. Everything opened up near pre-market high. So we're above that pre-market high right away. Very similar to the action that we did see on Friday. It looks like the Qs are at that daily downside breaker as well. So the Qs and IW are right at prior day lows. Right at prior day lows. And IW has reclaimed prior day lows. See if we can stay above it for a significant amount of time for that continued expansion. JPM starting to sell off here. Let's take a look at ExxonMobil, keeping a close eye there. ExxonMobil. We know how to approach that. Tesla getting shot out of a rocket here in pre-market. See if Tesla can break above that 350.39. What else? Okay, ExxonMobil. Yep, ExxonMobil starting to sell off in pre-market. See if you can break that 152.63. Okay, not a lot of activity outside of that. AVGO. Let's take a look at that. AVGO. Okay, above that PMH 370.11. Okay, so semiconductors make all-time highs last week. Okay. Shockwave is going to be there for us to take advantage of. So now the fact that we're at that PMH and at that daily downside breaker on the Qs, I'm monitoring how we interact with that level. This is our first interaction with that level. Okay, that is the daily downside breaker. So Friday's low. So our first interaction with that level, and SPY is coming right into that sticky zone there. All right. So far, our ATR is about 53 cents. Our IV about 22%. Outside of the 5-minute orb traders, there's nothing for you to do outside of be patient. Folks on YouTube, make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe. Okay, 100 likes is the goal. 100 likes is the goal. Okay, 100 likes before 10:30 is the goal. Let's see if we can crack. If we can crack 200 likes today, I'm going to need your help getting there. And we're a couple of subs away from hitting 4,600. All right, so let's get to that sub goal. And the like goal, and we'll do the giveaway. Okay, so all eyes right now is 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, okay. Our first interaction strikers, you can see, we came with that daily downside breaker, initially rejecting off of that. All right, so unless you trade that very first few minutes and you have the technical aptitude to do so, all right, you're paying attention to that level we discussed in pre-market, and you're seeing what kind of reaction do we get and what takes place after that retrace reject. Is there some follow through behind it for continuation, or is there some sort of retrace we're going to see back into that level for potential another retrace reject to see if that can play out? VIX is in the heart of that gap, the gap up. It's trading below that 21. This gap here is going to be that weekly opening gap. Not only is it a gap, it's a weekly opening gap, so it takes precedence over daily gaps. All right, so the sequence for gaps is weekly gaps have precedence over daily gaps. Okay, those take place on Monday. Monthly gaps have precedence over weekly gaps that take place the first trading day of the week, the first trading day of the month. All right, so that's the gap. More than likely, I wouldn't be surprised if that G50 is very close to that that daily downside breaker. That G50 of that gap is right there. So that 50% retrace of that gap is right there. And guess where that is, guys? That's right where the daily downside breaker is. That gives us a nice little key zone. Okay, we have our first key zone sponsored by those two key levels. Okay. Take this off. First key zone right there. Very thin key zone to say the least. First key zone. Yep, 10 a.m. blockade starts. Absolutely, guys. So the question is, who's trading before 10? We're seeing some strength in IW here. Good morning, good morning, good morning. If you're just jumping in on YouTube, good morning, good morning. Anyone have any swings, overnight swings? Overnight swings, you have to have some level of boldness to take them overnights, over the weekend especially. We're at that 2050 here on the VIX. SPY not doing much here. Probably waiting for 10 a.m. I'm going to keep a little close eye on that breaking news feed. Okay, that breaking news feed. Okay, it's very, very timely and very, very effective, and it's really helping us navigate these tricky times, to say the least. Good morning, Nico. SanDisk ripping. SNDK gone. Broadcom is gone. So see if NVIDIA can join the party. SNDK. So if you never trade SNDK, guys, those contracts are pricey and those spreads are very spready. All right, so very important that you understand that. You take that into account. Walmart falling off a cliff. Let's see what has some strength. Those individual names. Walmart falling off a cliff here below that PML. If you're looking for that retrace on Broadcom, okay, Broadcom, nice little retest at 370 psychological level along with that PMH. That's going to require some level of patience. All right, you can stretch that out to VWAP if you want, but if you want those levels, that's between that psychological level and that PMH. You can incorporate VWAP in there. That'll give you about a dollar and some change range. So Broadcom does have some of that strength. I'll actually put an alert right on it, because if Broadcom starts to fade, okay, if the semis start to fade, the one that came out the gate with strength, more than likely everything else starts to fade. Right now the Qs are retraced, rejecting off that daily downside breaker. Okay, you can see the Qs coming to that daily downside breaker, retrace, reject. If we take a look at bird's eye view real quick, let's get a good feel, guys. Let's get a good feel. Okay, we discuss, hey, do we have enough fuel off of this 50 hourly EMA to push into that territory? We break it up pre-market high, tight window to go there into that area, and of course we come to that daily downside breaker. Now we're starting to push back to the downside. So the Qs are the ones to lead us. The Qs and IW small caps led us. If they start to dump, unless we rotate, more than likely everything starts to follow as well. So outside of the 5-minute orb traders who did take that break below that 677, there's no other traders take anything else. Okay. All right, just be mindful. If you did take that, you have that 670, 617 coming up. You want to see that continued strength on the VIX. You want to see the VIX gravitate towards that 21. Hold decisively above that 2050. You want to see a continued push to the downside on the Qs. Possibly break view up on the Qs for that continued sell-off. We're starting to see a nice little reaction response off the VWAP on the Qs. And see if IW, if we're making that bearish case, see if IW can fall back below that 260, at 260.34, which is that daily downside breaker. All right, so far no trades, just observing. Apple falling off a cliff. Apple below that pre-market low. ExxonMobil looking to potentially reclaim that midpoint, that daily downside, that daily 50% retrace. So Apple selling off. So Apple does look interesting. Broadcom, see if there's a retest on Broadcom in this territory. I'll probably wait until, best practice will probably be wait until 10 a.m. Okay. So as much as I want to take something, maybe the responsible thing, I'll take the maybe out is probably to wait until after 10 a.m. All right. So this thing can go either way. And if we take a look at marine traffic, all right, you can see it yourself. It might be a delay to this, but you don't see anything there. So, I mean, you can see the straight, nothing really there. But let's give us an overall feel of what the situation is. All right. You can always check that for yourself. So Apple falling off a cliff nicely. So Apple retrace reject 258.43. We know Apple has a tendency to do its own thing. If you're looking for that VWAP pre-market low retrace reject, Apple, you set the alert here, cross up. Okay, we got alerted there. SPY, see if SPY wants to take control back of that daily open. Okay. XOM, yep, XOM starting to pick up some speed, Lynn. So we know if we start to dump, all the attention is going to focus towards XOM. All right. On my side, I'm keeping a close eye on, I have my other charts here. I'm looking at Apple, NVIDIA, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Tesla, Walmart, Lilly, Broadcom, JPM, ExxonMobil, and of course Palantir. Okay, that's the terrific 12. Good morning, Wiz. Good morning, Wiz. 10 a.m. blockade, 100%. In the meantime, folks on YouTube, make sure to like the video. Let's get the likes up. We've been light on the likes past few days. Okay, so let's see if we can crack 200 likes today. Shockwave hour. Again, that Shockwave hour, guys, we're gonna have to use we have to know that, hey, you know what? Shockwave is coming into that 10 o'clock time. All right, there's a catalyst. So it's going to be on you. The onus is on you to decide, hey, you know what? Environmentally, okay, do I want to allocate risk at that particular time? Do I want to size down even further? Or do I want to let the dust settle? Okay, so those are the calls you want to make as the manager of your capital. Okay, as the manager of your capital, those are the shots you want to call. Okay, anyone take any trades so far? INTC out of here. Looks like INTC, Broadcom, all those names. So semis, some of the semis continue to run. If these are running, all we just need them to do is just pull back just a little bit. Pull back just a little bit. Take a breather. Okay. A shallow retest on INTC team. We have that weekly upside breaker. So last week's highs along with that VWAP. Okay, that's something very shallow. Okay, very shallow pullback. If you're looking for something healthier, all right. You have that PMH. If you're looking for Shockwave, of course, Shockwave can come into play as well. But the one thing I do say with Shockwave, guys, since we have that 10 o'clock catalyst, treat that 10 o'clock catalyst as a red folder. Treat it as a red folder. Okay, meaning it can go either way. Nice little downward compression there. See where that leads us. Does that lead us back into this jaws that gap back above 677.93? Or do we fail at that daily open at that 677.41? The only thing green at this point, guys, the only thing green on the daily at this point is IWM. Okay, IWM. So Qs are just trying to hold up VWAP. Once the Qs give up VWAP, once IWM gives up that 260.34, okay, we can start to see a nice little potential slide. If the VWAP holds on those names, IW continues to hold that level. Okay, that can maybe just prop up SPY above that 676.99, 677 territory. Okay, now let's see if we get that nice little push. Somewhat of an inverse head and shoulder there as well. You can see it, left head, right. Taking some puts here. Okay, good. Manage accordingly. Good. So let's put an alert on Intel as well. I believe we caught Intel last week. Nice trade on Intel. So I don't mind. Right. I'm waiting for the opportunities to come to me via SPY. But if the opportunities are elsewhere, I don't mind going to the opportunities as well. Not chasing, but going to the opportunities and looking to entertain those opportunities. All right, we're about 2 minutes away from Shockwave hour. We are about 15 minutes away from the 10 o'clock hour. The blockade officially takes into effect. Okay, the blockade officially kicks in, barring some other kind of tweet that comes in. Okay, that changes the situation or delays it, or we shall see. If I'm looking for Shockwave, I'm looking for Shockwave on Apple. Okay, individual name. Keep a close eye on Apple for Shockwave. If you're looking for retrace reject, is your key zone. Why? Because Apple has a tendency to do its own thing. Okay. It marches to the beat of its own drum. Even though it's a top name in the S&P and in XLK as well, it marches to the beat of its own drum. So Apple, keep a close eye on Apple there. Okay, if Shockwave takes into effect on Apple, I'll be there for it. As far as where Apple is in relation to its range, Apple in relation to its daily range, okay? Apple is actually, guys, bearish, directionally bearish based on Friday's lows. All right, we're below Friday's lows. Okay, it looks like Broadcom's coming into that territory, retesting that VWAP. Okay, see if Broadcom come a little deeper into that area. Let's keep a close eye on Broadcom. Apple, if I'm looking at Apple, I'm looking at the, those are the 13th, today's contracts, 257.50s. 257.50s on Apple. Okay, Shockwave hour in 2 seconds. ExxonMobil Shockwave hour as well. We continue to dump. Keep a close eye on that. Semis, we're seeing them pull back. Keep a close eye on Broadcom here as it's in that key zone. AVGO, it's in that key zone. If we can hold that PML, reclaim that VWAP, should be good to go. Apple. I want to see a nice little flag breakdown in Apple as well. Okay. That feeds into that. Sell-off. Okay. There, down go the Qs. Down go the Qs. Okay, let's see if SPY continues to push. So the Qs are at the very lows of the day. See if the Qs can give us a signal there. Qs falling below VWAP. That's encouraging. Okay. Fix it like that. All right. Okay, Qs. See if that signal can hold on. We're getting a preliminary put signal. See if that can hold on the Qs. Watch out for those fake outs. Watch out for those fake outs. So now the question is, all those semis that led the way initially are pulling back slightly. All right, do they have some juice behind them and do they bounce? Apple 257.50s, keeping a close eye on that as we approach that level. SPY 670, 657. So I want to see a decisive break on SPY. Potential retrace reject. I want the risk reward box to print. Right. If it takes some time, if it starts to lead into, say if it starts to break at 949, okay, or 951, 952. Now there's only about 5 to 6 minutes for you to operate. All right. So if you're going to take it at that particular time, then you have to be okay with whatever takes place when 10 o'clock comes and whatever that reaction is, whatever the response is from the market based on the fact that the blockade is taken into effect. Okay, so keeping a close eye on Apple there. Broadcom. Okay, Broadcom. Okay, Apple coming in. We'll take a look at Broadcom. Broadcom, so you can get back about that VWAP on Broadcom, ticker symbol AVGO. Okay, Apple keeping a close eye there. Apple starting to wake up. Want to see a nice hold on Apple. I want to invalidate that double bottom, that potential at a double bottom. So I want that double bottom to completely collapse and us to continue to slide. If we can do that, I'll be on board for Apple. Qs, see if Qs can hold. Okay, Q got that the put signal on the Qs. The Dow hasn't been doing anything, guys. The Dow is as boring as can be. Looks like the Qs are taking off. Here's the downside. If you're in the Qs, just see if you can hold that VWAP. All right. See if you can hold that VWAP. Okay. We're starting to see JPM pick up some steam here. Palantir's coming to Shockwave as well. Keep a close eye on Palantir. Above those highs, if they can hold decisively. Nice close. Apple's going to be a make or break in this case. Okay, there goes SPY back the other way. Okay, so no Shockwave yet. All right, look at this. Okay, on the other side. We're on the other side now. We might have some preliminary announcement possibly. Here comes the volatility. All right, so again, we do have a catalyst. We can get a little volatile. Just be mindful of that. Factor that into your trading equation. PLTR. I like how PLTR is looking here. To the upside, we know PLTR has been getting beat up. Okay. And PLTR is starting to wake up. See if PLTR can come back in. PLTR, if you can scale out on PLTR. If you already took PLTR. And look at this, guys. We're just starting to go. Okay, we're starting to go here. We are starting to go. These are some massive, massive, massive candles. Apple, still keeping a close eye on Apple. And we are back above. We are back above that daily downside breaker. Now look at the VIX. VIX completely collapsing. VIX collapsing. Tesla out of here. All right, the reason why the signal came in all the way there is because this massive, massive candle. Okay, so it's very hard. You got to keep your signal as close as possible to here. Okay, this massive candle throws a wrench into the equation. Look at this, guys. It looks like IW came in first. Okay. So if you just took it based off just Ripple line of thinking, the gap has already been filled. So the gap has been filled. And then now we're looking to head back towards Apple. No breakdown on Apple. SPY starting to go. My goodness. Anyone in that? Back to the upside. They're probably just trying to front run the news here. No news. No news here. Apple retesting that PML. Or just be careful. It's getting very. It's right before the blockade. We get this massive, massive candle. We're a little erratic action here. A downward compression break. If they fade this back to the downside, that would be very interesting. The only way you can catch this is if you trade the Ripple. If you just trade the break and you just already take into consideration what the catalyst. Take the catalyst into consideration. Okay, looks like we got some news there. Possibly. Let's find our. It's almost like I have to have that news feed open the whole time. All right. Yeah, they're over here talking about Starbucks. Oh, ceasefire. Oh, and the Jeffries, not ceasefire. Okay, so they pump this thing, fill the gap, reject off TOG. If they fade this back all the way lower, that'd be brutal. They just give a nice little shake and bake. Palantir left the station. Still keeping a close eye on Apple. No trades, no position so far. If they take this back lower, interesting, to say the least. Let me take off. Flip the chart a little bit. Okay. So I'll wait until 10 o'clock. Okay. I'll wait until after 10 o'clock. No harm, no foul. If it does come back for that retest, you're going to have to take in the face at 10 o'clock. Okay, if you're looking for that nice little retest, that area, you have to take into the fact that we're about 7 minutes away from 10 o'clock. Keep a close eye on the IV. If the IV is starting to pick up. Now we're at 22 right now. We're at 22 right now. It's gone. Intel. Let's check back on our friend. Okay, so Broadcom's still hanging out in this area. See if Broadcom can get back above VWAP. Okay, see if Broadcom can get back above VWAP. INTC came back for that retest. Okay, you can see INTC, that exact retest, that key zone here, VWAP, along with that at the time that weekly upside breaker. So everything just pulled back slightly, healthy little pullback. What came into this territory here, jaws of the gap, BOG, starting to bounce. See if you get that continued push. So now, in relation to where we were on Friday, we are just sitting right at Friday's lows. We're sitting right at Friday's lows. Okay. If we'll go to our game plan chart here, we're right there. Okay. We are right there. So what happens at 10 o'clock, guys, in 5 minutes? Does this thing continue to pump? Okay, work its way to the 680s. Okay, 680.24 is next. We have that 680.203. This is that weekly upside breaker. If we get above here, that means we'll be directional on the weekly. We'll be above last week's highs and the buying continues. Or do we get a collapse back to the downside and we start to take out the lows of the day, 676.57? Okay. That is $1 million question. NVIDIA went. Okay, Apple. Let me get back on Apple. Okay, I'm going to continue to stock Apple. All right, to the downside. Okay. If everything starts to fade, that can possibly help Apple. If you got the retrace reject on Apple, okay, if you wanted that retrace reject with VWAP and that key zone, that already took place. Okay, so you have a very beautiful entry there in that case, okay? It came back at that key zone, rejected. So now I'm looking to take advantage of the momentum based off of that key zone. Based off that key zone response, push back to the downside. Okay, based off that key zone response, push back to the downside. You can see it came right into there, nice rejection. So in this case, I'm going to use that risk on Apple as the full risk, meaning either stop me out, all right, conservative risk. Okay, Apple. Signal coming in on Apple, see if it can last. I want to see a nice hold of that level, and I'll take Apple to the downside, and I'll babysit Apple, and I'll hold that through 10 a.m. Okay, so I'll be willing to live with that at 10 a.m. See if Apple can get a nice little green candle here. If you already took it, manage accordingly. If you took it off of that key zone, better textbook entry. Okay, TP where you need to. We're about 2 minutes away from 10 a.m. If you're waiting for an entry, continue to wait. So you can see we're going the opposite way on Apple. Okay, the opposite way. See if we get a nice little bounce on Apple here. Might be. See, a nice little bounce, nice little green candle. Come back to 257.49. That'd be great. So see a nice little bounce. And then fade the bounce. Okay. If you're in already, manage accordingly. Keep in mind we have 10 a.m. coming in 2 minutes. All right. And there is a possibility where we get a very minimal, not a lot of activity just because at 10 a.m. But it's just to exercise a certain level of caution. We came back to that, starting to bounce. So everything is basically at scale out, TP, or on the verge of breaking out, or broken down, or at not close to the entry. Okay, so Apple come a little get a nice little bounce on Apple. I'll be there for it. Continue to bounce. See, get a nice little bounce on Apple. Get it as close as possible. So from my view, Shockwave gives us the signal. I'm trying to get that entry as close as possible to this territory there. That retrace reject, and my risk will be all the way up here. So stop me out here. stop me out here or hit TP. Will be the goal as SPY continues to push. SPY continues to push. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for on Apple. Now I want to see a wick right there. If I get a wick right there, I'll look to take the Apple back to downside. Okay, fall back below it, and then we'll be there for it. SPY continues to push, came back for that retest. So now I want to see some weakness right here, fall back under that level. I'll take Apple at 257.50s. I'll fall back under it. Okay, I'll take Apple right there. So I'm an Apple right there. My risk is going to be all the way up here. I'm very close to VWAP. So risk has already been allocated on Apple. I'm in the puts, 257.50s. Okay, if you did take this, manage accordingly. SPY is just a runaway train, okay? Apple's about 5% already. So again, TP where you need to, manage accordingly. Up 7 on Apple, up 8, up 9. Okay. TP where you need to. If Apple goes to those lows, you can use that as your first scale out. That can give you that double digits. Apple's up 11, up 12. 15 on Apple, 18. 20% on Apple. First scale out right there at 21. Thank you very much. Okay, now I want us to stay below that level. Apple first scale out 21%. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to see if those runners can continue to go. Okay, so make sure to scale out on Apple if you need to. All right. Nice 20% less than 2 minutes. And now I'm going to actually move my stop on Apple, guys. I'm actually going to do this on Apple. That right there was 20%. I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to move the stop to right here. Okay. Apple up 20. Look at that, guys. Beautiful trade on Apple. We stayed patient. We stocked Apple. There we go. 40% on Apple. Okay. If you took Apple to the downside, dollar signs in the chat, guys. So if everything starts to dump, that's going to really favor us here. ExxonMobil starting to break down as well. I want us to stay below here. Okay, target on Apple is down there. Shockwave getting the job done. We just have to know how to effectively use it. Up 42% on Apple, guys. 43. Okay. If the index is starting to fade, that's going to probably favor Apple. Who's an Apple? Take out those lows, we continue to sell. There goes Apple. There we go. 47. Scale out right there. I'm going to close Apple right there at 44%. Okay. So I took that initial TP at 20 when we got into these lows, and then I closed the last bit. Okay, for 41 at the scale out. If you're still holding Apple, guys, by all means, do what you need to do. But I'll take that 40, that 20 and that 40 any time of the week. Okay, any time of the week. All right, thank you very much, Apple. Thank you, Tim Cook. Okay, first trade worked out beautifully. Took 35% IWM calls, not bad. Beautiful job, Lynn. Yeah, the ripple there was very quick. All right. All out, beautiful job, 30%. Again, do what you guys need to do. What you guys need to do, guys. All right. If your TP is 10, if your TP is 5, we're not here to compare one another's TPs. All right. When the opportunity is in front of you, you have to do what you need to do. All right. So some people like to hold. All right. Some people like to take TP at 8. Okay. So that's up to each individual trader. Okay. Apple's at scale out. Again, SPY, very erratic here. Very hard for me to do anything in this territory. 10 o'clock has come in. So it looks like they're trying to price in 10 o'clock here on this move before 10 o'clock. Areas to get involved, of course, we have the daily upside breaker. We have a couple of other areas. Nice scale out on Apple, guys. Okay. So Shockwave got the job done. So you have to pair your technical due diligence with the names you're going to trade as well. All right. That's when you take the Shockwave to the next level. Everything else is either taken off. Okay. We see some activity in Exxon. Okay. Exxon. Who's done for the day? Who's done for the day? So we're looking for that one trade. Exxon starting to, if Exxon can come back to PML, I can be interested in Exxon. Inverse relationship with what the indexes are doing, as long as SPY holds above that 678, 751. For SPY, mean reversion. I look for some mean reversion or continuation on the back end of first shift. We did see that nice little downward compression break, a ripple. Very hard to get filled here, right? I couldn't even give time for Shockwave to really give you anything because it's based on candle closure and momentum, right? This was so huge that I couldn't even really gauge that, okay? So Apple for the W today. Beautiful job, APS. 30% Apple, absolutely. Jasper, good, good, good. All right, we talked about how Apple was clean the past few days. We've missed it a few days, and we caught it today. All right, well, the thing I like about what we do with Apple here is, okay, it was setting up. It was setting up earlier, but I like how we just stayed patient, okay? Okay, I was looking to take it in this area, okay? But I'm waiting for Shockwave to give me that indicator. I'm using Shockwave in conjunction with what I'm doing already. Right? A lot of traders, what they'll do is, of course, we can do that from time to time as well. We see a level. First things first, we have to understand this is support. Meaning that double bottom can be there. So if you short right there at support, if you're going to short support, right, you have to have an overwhelming amount of evidence. Okay, meaning you have to see that bearish activity in that area to the where that support is no longer supporting. All right, so in this area, I was looking for it and get that. We got the break, so a lot of traders will take this orb and get stopped out here, or be in drawdown, and then we get the Shockwave alert here. Okay, if you take it based off the alert, there's the suggestion from the engine, you can be there, you still win, but I'm using that for that retrace. I'm using it for the retrace so I can get a better price on those contracts. Right? So sometimes what happens is it just continues to go, and that's okay. And then, of course, by the time we're in, it gets that retrace. Another signal comes in, starts to break. Very straightforward, smooth trade. Okay. SPY. Keeping a close eye on SPY on the game plan chart. We did fill that gap. Still on the head and shoulder watch on SPY unless we take out those highs. All right, early stages of head and shoulder, right shoulder formation. Okay, so I'd love to give Tesla's gone, Tesla's out of here, Microsoft is out of here. Ooh, okay. Google just broke. So if Google can come back and retest, that'd be great. How's Avago? Avago, nice little bounce there. Okay, so Avago, again, you're sitting through a little back and forth, but again, Avago working out as well. Key zone, if you took the key zone retrace on Apple, you have a better seat. Intel as well. Okay, Intel, nice initial bounce off that shallow zone there. Okay, so that's where we're up into this point. Okay, so we are about 22 minutes away. 22 minutes away from the conclusion of first shift. See profit, take profit 100%. Right, the way the motto is, it's either you take profit or the market will. You choose. Okay, it's either you take profit or the market will. All right. Took Apple 30%. Beautiful, beautiful. Who's done for the day, guys? Folks on YouTube, make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe. Okay, if you want access to the delay-free, ad-free stream and access to all the tools and resources, make sure to jump in our Discord. For the month of April, we have 20 spots on the trial. Okay, so 20 spots on the trial. We're only taking 20 people at a time. All right. So if you're interested in that, use the link April, APRIL, April. Okay. Use the link April. and you'll have access to the delay-free, ad-free stream. Folks on YouTube, first-time viewers, let us know where you're joining from. Do me a favor, smash the like button. Our goal today is to hit 200 likes. All right, we already had over 500 people stop by. Okay, so that's a goal that's very, very doable. Exit from puts SPX. I'm new. So I'm not entirely okay. Let's get caught up a little bit. Okay, in the chat. Good morning. God bless you too, Mort. Retail investor. Shockwave hour 9:45 to 11:30. And we did host a Shockwave webinar on a Saturday. Okay, so I will have that recording available, and I'll host another one on Saturday again. So what we'll do is we'll turn the webinar into a backtest session as well. All right, for those of you who are interested. And if you did make the purchase, guys, I'm still awaiting your username. All right, so make sure to send me your username in TradingView. And if you're using a different email, okay, just let me know. Okay, let me know, because the email has to correspond with the purchase receipt. All right, so I just have to verify that on the back end. All right, so that is available. That is publicly available. Shockwave is publicly available. So make sure to add that to your tool belt. SPY, of course, the retest in this area. We have the retest of 677.93 awaiting us. The conditions are nice and bullish here. Just because something is bullish, it doesn't mean you just go long. Okay, just because something is bullish, it doesn't mean you just go calls. Okay, there's a difference in your sentiment. There's a difference in sentiment. There's a difference in strategy, and there's a difference in entry model. These are all different things. Okay, so think of these different things. So now, if the sentiment is bullish, it's not go long. Okay, sentiment being bullish doesn't mean much for as far as what your entry is going to be. It just tells you what's happening. Okay, it's almost like outside. If it's raining outside, right, you just know it's raining outside. That's the sentiment. Now, what's your strategy? You have a strategy to take advantage of the sentiment. Okay? You have a strategy to take advantage of the sentiment. If you do, there's a difference between strategy and entry model. Okay, so now entry model is how do you enter your set strategy? What is your way to enter the trade? How do you use price action in conjunction with the things you look for to put yourself in the best position to get those contracts at the best price? All right, the mistake a lot of traders make is, hey, sentiment is bullish, we're above the EMAs, I'm going to buy calls. And you're entering at the wrong place. So again, sentiment, okay, you have to have a strategy. So if it's raining outside, I know it's raining, but if I'm going to go outside, my strategy is, hey, I want to keep myself dry. I'm going to have to carry an umbrella, or I'm going to have to carry a raincoat. Okay, if I have an umbrella, what's my entry model? If it's raining outside and my strategy is umbrella, okay, more than likely I'm going to open my umbrella by the time I get to the door. I'm not going to go in the middle of the storm and then open my umbrella. Okay, so same thing with these three things as it pertains to trading. All right, so raining outside, I'm going to get my umbrella. That's the strategy. And where are you opening your umbrella? That matters. You can have the sentiment right. You can have the strategy right. But if you don't have the entry model right, okay, you're going into the middle of the storm, holding an umbrella that's closed and waiting to open it when you're already wet. Okay, so very, very important you make that distinction between these three things. All right, so the overall sentiment over here is bullish because all those were above all those EMAs. Those candles are showing strength. Momentum from this candle gave us some strength as well. That's influencing it. So now I know the sentiment is bullish. Now I have to see, hey, what strategies do I have in place to capitalize off this bullish sentiment? Okay, there's a couple of bounces. Is there things I love? Is there things I like? I like a couple of bounces in this area. Now, if it comes into this territory, okay, if my strategy is to go along here, okay, sentiment check, strategy is to go along here. What is my entry model? Now I apply my entry model here. When do I open the umbrella? Okay, so very important that you understand those three things. AMD. Is AMD out of here? So it looks like the semis continue, guys. It looks like the semis continue. AMD, nothing there yet on AMD. Peaked above that PMH, 245. If you took the puts on AMD, you could have scalped out of it or possibly got stopped out. If you're waiting to hit target, did not hit target. What's Apple doing? Okay, nice TP on Apple, guys. Nice extraction on Apple. Okay. Nice extraction on Apple. So what the Qs are doing now, guys, we're at the midpoint of Friday's range. Retest on the Qs. The Qs might look a little more attractive. A little more appealing than SPY as they're closer to that level. Okay. Okay, there we go. So Qs, we keep a close eye on the Qs in this area. Okay, why? We have the call trigger there, we have the VWAP there, and we have the PMH there. So more than likely, the bulls are going to go above and beyond to defend this territory. So we'll keep a close eye in that area on the Qs. Okay, keep a close eye between this 609.99, 609.45, 609.99. Okay. Throw an alert. And if that's the only trade that I take today, guys, that's fine with me. All right, we'll throw a couple of lottos out there on some mean reversions, maybe one lotto, two lottos, but that's okay with me. All right. So we have to be okay with that. Okay. Took 30%. Good. SPY is coming right to that daily downside breaker. So this is prior day lows. If we take a look at some of the action from this morning, okay, we talked about, hey, you know what? All eyes are going to be on how much fuel do we have off that hourly 50 EMA. And as it pertains to that hourly 50 EMA, we work our way back to the jaws of the gap. And what kind of response do we get off of this daily downside breaker? Initially, we got that nice reclaim, complete push back above it. And now when we come back into it, do we hold or do we slice back under it? And then we get that push back into today's range, and the heart of today's range. As far as the Qs are concerned, the Qs, okay, continue to get led by the semis. Qs, nice reclaim with that daily downside breaker, and that led us all the way into that G50. 611.63, came into that territory, midpoint of Friday's range. Now we're starting to reject. As we approach this territory here, now the question becomes, do we get that nice little relief pop back the upside? Okay, if you're bullish, you're looking for some sort of bullish candles in this area for that bounce. If you're bearish, trying to see a decisive pushback below this area. If you're long here, you're looking to target this territory. So it just depends if you're in a position already or if you're looking to get in a position. Okay, that's the determining factor. All right, so now do we fall back below that daily downside breaker, or do we now use that as support? Since we got back above it, now we have to treat it as support until proven otherwise. As far as the Dow is concerned, the Dow did come back to that 50. Okay, remember we said that the Dow would come back to that 50 rather than to come back to that area because the Dow was the furthest away from the 50. Is rejecting off of that on the hourly. IW, so IW and the Qs were the ones that looked strong. IW is still above. IW is still above. IWM that is still above that 50% retrace of Friday. Can that 261.54 hold, or does it fold? All right. So now what you're considering, if you're looking to open a position, is you're using all your technical ability to decipher the data here. Okay, are we going to get that bounce there back into that daily upside breaker, and we go engulfing on the daily, or do we fail to hold this area? We get a broad market sell and start to work back towards 260.34. Okay, that's when you want to save all your computing power for. All right. As far as crude is concerned, crude, we can see coming towards that. Okay, give it that separation. We were saying that we had that small room on crude in the pre-market to run into this area. Okay, so now for us to move higher, more than likely crude needs to take a leg lower below 100. If we start to bounce, okay, that can lead to possibly us staying where we are or starting to pull back. If it's an aggressive bounce that leads us back into 105, we'll pull back. If it's a subtle bounce, just a technical bounce, a lower low, then we can stay where we are or start pulling back slightly. Okay, so that was the game plan from this morning. Yeah, I was taking the Apple contracts. I said I was taking the 257.50s. Right, those are the ones I took. The ones expiring today on the 13th. %. TOS. Anyone else? Anyone else having issues with TOS? Ooh, Tesla pulling back. Okay, Tesla pulling back. Google pulling back. Let's see if Elon has something for us today. Tesla pulling back here. See if Tesla can hold 350.39. Tesla already went. Tesla fell under view up, so I want that PML to hold, PMH to hold. Google, a little more of a pullback on Google will be necessary here. If you're looking for a healthy pullback, if you're looking for Shockwave, you're going to see a hammer right there. If you're looking for healthy pullback, see if you can come back into that 315.53. If you're looking for Shockwave, you're going to see a nice hammer right here. Initial alert on Shockwave where to hit TP. So a lot of things hit TP and they're starting to fade from TP. So as they're fading, do they have enough fuel? Do they have enough fuel to regather and push back higher? Do they have enough fuel to regather and push back higher? So keep a close eye on Google. Might even come all the way to VWAP with this key zone. Keep a close eye on that key zone. We'll throw an alert there. Okay. TOS no SPX chart. So it looks like we're having some issues on TOS, guys. Anyone else having some issues on TOS? From time to time, some brokers give issues. Comes into this area. Daily downside breaker starting to bounce. Q starting to bounce slightly before that preferred entry. Let's get the likes up, guys. 100 likes is the goal. 100 likes is the goal. Let's get the likes up. We're almost there. We're 8 minutes away. Okay, 8 minutes away. If you're a first-time viewer, let us know where you're joining from. We go live every single day at 9:30 a.m. Okay, with the most value-packed live trading show where we live trade, break down charts, cover impact events, talk trader mindset. Everything you're seeing is for educational purposes. Okay, so keep that in mind. And we're live trading SPY and whatever opportunities present themselves as far as the Magnificent Seven, as far as the major names in the market that are tied to SPY. If they have some opportunities that are better than what SPY has to offer, I'll go to SPY. With SPY, we did see a nice little break, downward compression break, parabolic push. Probably they're trying to price in the closure. The closure being the blockade, I should say, of the straight. And the issue is, okay, we don't have any catalyst. It's a Monday. It's literally a mundane Monday. Okay? Economic catalyst, nothing on the calendar. Okay? So just watch out for some shenanigans. Watch out for some back and forth. Okay, here we go. We at least get one of these every hour. Okay? All right? So it's going to be very important to be sharp. And even if you're not in a position, that's a position. Cash is a position, okay? 100% perfect timing. Doctor. And the ATR today started below $1, staying below $1. Sometimes it starts above $1, starts to work its way lower. So we can possibly get as low as the 50s today if this continues. Okay, what else? Tesla. I'm going to keep a close eye on Tesla. See if Elon has something for us here. Tesla hold. Okay, we have to understand context is key. Tesla's targets are very, very short because the range today was so tight. So you just have to understand that that VWAP is right there overhead. You think they're ever going to do something to stop the illegal manipulation? I think it's just part of the game, right? It's just part of the game. I mean, to be honest, as everyday people, we're always at the bottom of the totem pole, right? So there's nothing we can do outside of just factor that into the equation, outside of be aware of how it looks, and maybe have things in place to take advantage of it. I think that's just the nature of the beast itself. All right, we're playing their. Keep in mind, guys, we're playing their game. Okay, we're playing the game. On Goog, let's take a look at Goog. On the 5. So if you're going 5 for 5, I want to see a break above that hammer's high. I don't think we've traded Goog this month or even last month. So we're really getting these individual names into the fold, guys, if you're just tuning in, because of the conditions I'm seeing in April. But I would say 95% of the time it's SPY. Unless the opportunity is just greater than what SPY can offer us. So this is very telling. The fact that we have to go to individual names is very telling of the fact that there aren't as many clean opportunities on SPY at the current moment. Right? They're not happening as frequently. So it is not to say that there's no opportunities at all, but it's to say that there has to be an extra layer of patience required. Right, extra layer of patience required. So we need to get above this that 316.64 for us to get any signs of that continued push. If you're waiting for that key zone, retest this key zone, keep a close eye as well. But if you want that nice continued push, Shockwave signal, get above 316.64. Okay, let's get the likes up, guys. Make sure to like the video. We're almost at 100. We can get there in 2 minutes. All right. 100%. So if you don't see anything on SPY, guys, don't force those trades. All right. What happens is most traders dig themselves in a hole on a Monday. Okay. And then on Tuesday, Wednesday, you're digging yourself out. All right. So on Mondays, just ease your way into the week. Ease your way into the week. We still have lots of time. We still have a lot of days to do battle. We even have another shift coming up. Okay. So if you don't take one trade during first shift, it's not necessarily a bad thing. All right. You preserve your mental capital. You preserve your capital. No harm, no foul. But just don't carry over this angst or this FOMO that you're feeling here because you didn't take any trades into the next shift. That's the biggest danger. Okay, the I must take a trade mentality is the big danger in this case. Okay, and it's okay not to take those trades every day. So nothing there on Google. Exxon is starting to catch a bit off those lows. We did see Tesla. Tesla's starting to wake up. Tesla see if we can get above that VWAP. JPM taking off here. JPM starting to wake up as well. Keep a close eye on the IV on JPM. JPM is reporting earnings here shortly this week, so the IV can start to elevate. I like how Google's starting to test that VWAP, so you get a nice positive response off that VWAP. And that leads us into some kind of tweezer bottom and get back above. I think Google is the one. Get back above that 316.49 and eventually that 316.64. Okay, new shift, guys. New shift, new shift, new shift. Let us know you did in first shift. We took one trade in first shift. We took Apple. SPY made a parabolic push, so the signal on SPY wasn't as clean. Right, with that massive candle. I'm going to move it right there. 316.41. Okay, early entry. If you're waiting for that, if you're waiting for Shockwave, continue to wait. So just one trade today on Apple. Okay, nice double-digit trade on Apple. If you missed it, go back, rewind, see what the rationale behind the setup was, see what the entry was, how we managed the position, and eventually got out of there. Inverse head and shoulder trade wins, left head, right. I can see that possibly if we can take out that TP3. IW's continue to push, guys. IW's on the verge of going engulfing on the daily, as long as it holds above 261.54. All right, so slow grind higher here. Goog, take a look at Goog. Okay, Google, they don't have the 0DT contracts, so you can use, if you'd like, you can use this target as your contract. 317.50s, 320s if you want. Keep in mind the spread is not spready, but it's not as clean as SPY. But Google should get, let's see. Okay, there we go. If you type Google with an L, okay, that has those contracts. The 320s are 40 cents. Okay, so that might be the lotto. On Google, 320s. Okay, see if Google can continue to hold above 316.41. That's the early entry, but the confirmed entries break back above that Shockwave. SPY, okay, it's at that, getting close to first shift high. So again, mean reversion or continuation be on the table. What would be favorable for Google is, of course, a continued expansion. What we are seeing is the VIX continue to go south. Okay, let's see if Google can wake up here. Looking at the 320s. Hold above 316.41 would be good to go. Google moves a little slower. The price on Google moves a little slower than anything else. So first shift is officially in the books again, guys. First shift in the books. All right, so we got that nice little area here. See if Google can hold above 316.41. If we can, that'd be great. Okay. If you're already in, just manage accordingly. Okay. Make sure your risk has been predefined. Know where your egress is, your exit. If you're still waiting, continue to wait. I'm still waiting. So the egress is going to be very close to the VWAP. Okay, so I want to see it get a trigger of the Shockwave, and I'll look to take it. I want to see a Shockwave trigger on Google, and I'll look to take it. Tesla got that nice little bounce, pushed it way into that VWAP, peaked above it, now fell back below VWAP. Broadcom's starting to pick up some steam here. But what would really help us if the SPY continues to expand. Okay, that would help us. So Broadcom, slow grind higher, came with that key zone that we discussed this morning, continues to push. The Qs are right at that 611.63, which is that 50% retrace of Friday's range. IW off to the races. What will help Google in this case is this. Okay, that'll help Google. Okay, that will help Google here. See if Google can continue to push. I'm looking at the 320s. Get a nice little hold there. Risk is going to be that 315.80. Okay, I'll take Google right there. Okay, risk has been defined, of course, down here. Risk has been allocated. Now let's see Google play out. Okay, I'm in the 320s. Okay, contracts are very friendly. They're very, very cheap. They're great for lottos. So my risk is all the way. Break back will over up on the 5. All right. So either scale me out, give me 1 TP, or give me 1R or 2R. Risk being 1R. In the meantime, if SPY can try to get above these highs, that'd be great. We did go double top there. That might kind of slow us down a little bit. But ideally, SPY stay above that 679.007. That'd be fine. So again, Google, this might require sitting in Google for a little bit as it plays out. First, you have green by $10. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Green is green, guys. Okay, green is green. So second trade of the day, Google. All right, again, by any means, if you need to take TP, if you're already in, manage accordingly, TP where you need to. So if you're looking for ticker symbol GOOG, they have the contracts that expire Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If you look at GOOGL, they have the contracts that expire on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But the GOOG only has the 17th. It looks like Wednesday and Friday. And this one has Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Okay, it just depends. All right, so see if we can kind of catch a nice little push. Some nice double top formation there on SPY. Strike is a little out. It's a little out there. Okay, but we'll see. Ideally, if SPY can hold above that 679.07, that could be favorable for Goog. But what I can't do here is incorporate this bounce into the risk. My risk is here. So I can't say, hey, you know what, since there's a key zone here, let me extend the risk a little further. Okay? You can't do that. It's defined, and we just have to let it play out. Google calls in this case. Head and shoulder on Goog. Let's take a look at it. On the I see that, yeah. Left, head right. Yeah, I can see that. Google's down about 20%. All right, when the contracts are a little bit cheaper, when they're in the under $1, it's very easy for them to go 20, 30, 40%. $15 is still inside, so that 15-minute candle will be critical. I have about 6 minutes left. Hourly, somewhat of a shooter there. 30 still inside. 5. Hold above VWAP. Okay, SPY. Can we get above 680? We came into 680. We reject off 680. Reject off 680. So double top. So the next top, does that cause a triple top, or do we get a flip of that resistance there? ExxonMobil. Yeah, ExxonMobil. Nice breakdown on ExxonMobil. That's actually looking clean. Okay. We talked about PML on ExxonMobil. Exxon is starting to break down cleanly there. All right, so we'll let Google play out. SPY, a mean reversion. We'll pay attention to that. So what helped Google in this case is, of course, if we get above that 680. We did get above 680. Okay, new 5-minute candle here. Ideally, if we can get above this 5-minute candle's high, that will put us back in the green category. All right, we did see about 5%, 6% green. Sat through about 20% to the downside. That's all defined, but that's an update on the position so far. Inverse head and shoulder on SPY on the 1. Inverse head and shoulder on SPY on the 1. The one that played out earlier, like left shoulder, head, right, and it continues to push. Would you mind help me understand the different shifts? So yeah, the shift-to-shift framework is just a simple breakdown that I've implemented. All right, on my own, it's just every hour is a shift. All right, 9:30, 10:30, 10:30, 11:30. These are just different shifts. So we like to break the day down into these shifts, all right? So it gives us areas to focus on. So we know in this area that we have 61-minute candles, all right? I mean, granted, it's an hour. So we have 61-minute candles. Our job in this area is to see if we can find a series of 3 to 5 candles that are worth allocating risk for and be right for 3 to 5 candles out of 60, right? Especially as a scalper. When the new shift comes up, we see different behaviors coming to the next shift. Behavior changes, volume drops off. So each of these shifts have different behaviors. Price behaves differently in these different shifts. We know the first 2 shifts, okay, we have a lot of volume, there's a lot of volatility. We have the participants from London. We have the participants in New York, right? And then once lunchtime is over, London closes up and it comes down to New York. We see that sharp drop in the volume. So simply put, it's just a way for us to categorize parts of the day. So rather than us looking at the entire day as one whole day, from 9:30 to 4 p.m. Eastern, all right, we look at it shift to shift. We break it down to sizable chunks. All right, we try to control the things we're doing in each of these shifts. Okay, so it's good to have some rules in each of these shifts. Hey, you know what? I'm only looking to take 1 to 3 trades per shift. I'm only going to trade 2 shifts. Okay, things like that to make it more systematic, to make it more rule based, and to make it so you can become more disciplined. Okay, let me know if that makes sense. Again, guys, make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe. Yeah, inverse. I can see that inverse, left, head, right. It's going to come down to, can we break the 680? If we can break 680, our Google will be good to go. Just be mindful that those Google contracts expire today. The strike is a little further out. The strike is a little further. Let's take a listen to our friends at CNBC. I'm going to get an early coffee refill. And I'm going to go look for my charger as well. Again, guys, make sure to like the video on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe. If you're done for the day, again, you're more than welcome to be done. This would be our lotto for the day. What time frame candles is the one on the chart to the right? Okay, this is 1 minute. A lot of people don't like the 1 minute. Maybe the 1 minute is too fast for them. I love the 1 minute. Okay, the 1 minute gives me a lot of information, right? Especially to get those entries. But I like to use all the time frames. You can see the 5 minute on the 1 minute. You can see the 15 minute on the 1 minute. Right, it's just a summary. Think of the higher time frames as a summary of the lower time frames. Okay, Google is rock and roll. So last time we were all the way up there, we're up about 5%. Now we're down 5%. What is that? That's theta. Okay, now rock and roll. So we want to see a continued expansion here. If it turns into a mean reversion grab of those highs, more than likely Google gets back to this range. Okay, so I would like for us to expand above it. It doesn't mean just because I like it doesn't mean it takes place until prove otherwise. Because I have the Google position, but that will definitely help Google continue to push. Now 680 is up for grabs. In this case, let's see if the VIX can continue to stay below that 20. We're below 20, guys. VIX is back in the teens. VIX is back in the teens. Google's moving slow. All right, so see a nice little break here. We are seeing some divergence amongst the Qs and SPY. The Dow made those highs as well. So it's either we go triple top. We already grabbed those highs. This is the trap area. That's the area that we need to pass. All right. If we can get past this box, get to the other side. G 680.24. Okay, we'll be out of the line of fire for those traps. Okay. Got above those highs, starting to push back lower. Absolutely, Sol Invictus. How we doing, strikers? How we doing so far? How we doing? Anyone taking the rejection there? The mean reversion. We're waiting for the nice little breakout above 680. I'm over here just babysitting Google. So for the sake of this position, I'd like us to get above 680, continue to expand. Okay. So Google hasn't gone anywhere fast. Okay. We can still make a run into that high. Okay, it's still have a chance to make a run into that high if we can stay above this right here. That open. Once we fall back below the open, that hourly open, okay, and we get back above 20 on the VIX, then we can start to work all the way back towards 679.07. Okay. We hit 100 likes. We'll do the giveaway here at 11:30, guys. We'll do the giveaway. And now our goal is to get to 150 and eventually 200. Yeah, so naturally this is resistance. Okay, I have to respect the fact that it's resistance. Maybe this mean reversion might have been a better play than Google. But even this mean reversion here would require you to wait this entire time, and then now we're starting to sell off here pretty aggressively. So if you're trading this, you take it to that target right there. You have prior day close. Take it piece by piece. For this to really start to work towards 679.07, all right, you want to see a reclaim of that 20 on the VIX. 20 on the VIX. Nvidia's out of here. Nvidia looks like it wants to get to 190. 190 is that daily upside breaker. Google's starting to fade. Okay. Yeah, Nvidia's showing that strength. Once something is gone, it just completely breaks out. More than likely, gravitation back towards those EMAs, key levels, will be the best approach. At least come back at that 9 on Nvidia. Looks like Google's falling off a cliff. Okay, Google risk is all the way at this 315.80. Did see a little bit of green, nothing significant, single digits. I really wanted to drive this all the way into that TP1. VWAP is there as well. If we break below VWAP, 5 minutes, SPY continues to tumble, then we'll be out of there. What really takes a lot off of this is the fact that we're not going anywhere fast. And every time we make that push up, push lower, and we make another push up, okay, those contracts really start to lose that value very, very quickly. All right, so in the meantime, I'm still going to be in the position until stopped out. And SPY is going to come down to this hourly open here. How do we interact with that level? So I would say the only opportunities up until this point, again, we have the luxury of hindsight, is this nice grab here and second shift. You take it into there, bounce off a couple of key levels. But nothing clean. Okay, just scalps. It's just been a lot of scalps. A lot of scalps. Okay. Now, let's take a look at a game plan chart. All right, we don't want to stray too far away from our game plan chart. All right, so this morning what I was essentially saying is be on the lookout for the early stages of a potential head and shoulder brewing on the 15, on the hourly, on our game plan chart. So we can see that left is here. That right is the head. The head is right there, and this is the right brewing. Right, so it's not fully there yet, but it's something to keep an eye on, as long as we don't make a higher highs here. Okay. So the retest in this case, guys, the cleanest retest would be come back into this territory here. 677.35, 677, 678.59. All right. Come back into this zone. We've got the nice little separation. If it wants to be sticky, it's going to come back to it. So we got our first separation away from it. See if that can drive us into making those higher highs. Okay, so 680s. Okay, see if we can make another run at those 680s. So we came with that open. Now do we have enough fuel to break above it? Okay, we went triple top. So do we have enough fuel this time around to break above it? Still in Google. Google's down about 20%. So SPY breaking above that 680 and continue to expand above 680.24 is going to help Google. Okay, that'll help Google. All right, that will help Google there. Q's working towards that TP3, Dow pulling back slightly. IW coming to test that 9 EMA on the 5. IW is the one that's above that 50% retrace of the daily and very close to that daily upside breaker. The Qs, on the other hand, are right at that midpoint of Friday's range. Okay, the Qs are right at the midpoint of Friday's range. So basically, we're right where we were in the middle of Friday's range. All right, so big decisions have to be made here. IW was able to create a little bit of separation away from that level. We got that nice push above that 261, came back, bounced off it a couple of times. Okay, breaks, bounces off it. All right, didn't have quite enough fuel to get above that, to get into that 260, 275. Right, but as long as this 261.54 holds, the engulfing candle on the daily is potentially there. Okay, it's potentially there. So keep a close eye on that if you like to play those bigger picture ideas. All right, so is this a legitimate break? We need to clear this trap zone there. I like how the VIX continues to stay below 20. Let's see that continued expansion. Okay, Google. Let's see if you can get yourself together. So the only horse in the race currently is Google. Okay. PLTR. Yeah, PLTR is moving and grooving. All right, let's see that nice break. Yeah, PLTR got that PMH reclaim, PMH break. PLTR gave a nice setup here. Right, that one just kind of flew under the radar. Came back to VWAP, came back to that Shockwave level, retested it, bounced. So PLTR flew right under the radar there. That was nice. We're not in the clear. The bulls are not in the clear until they decisively get above this red box. All right. So in the meantime, we need the VIX to stay below 20, start work towards that 1950. Google not going anywhere fast. All right. So Google down about 5%. Didn't get stopped out. Still in. So again, what's going to be favorable for Google again is can we hold above that territory here. So again, this is the trap territory the bulls must overcome. They must overcome that level. Who's done for the day? Anyone done for the day? Divergence on, yeah, SPY, a lot of divergence. Yep, lower highs. And we're getting a set of higher highs. Who's done for the day? 100% boring price action. Outside of that Apple trade, Apple is very smooth. There hasn't been much. All right, so let's see if Google can get itself together. All right, main thing is in this case, guys, right, not to be over trading in this kind of condition. It's very easy to overtrade. All right. See if SPY can overcome that 680.24. My average fill on Google is 40 cents, so down about 10-15%. Again, 10-15% on 40 cents for those lottos. To give you context, is about like $7. Right, so that's why I need Google to go all the way to that TP. 318. If you can go to 320 by today, that'd be great. All right. They're about to overcome this trap zone. So now Google, start to work, start to get yourself together. All right, and if you notice on Google, the strikes are $2.50 out. Okay, there goes SPY. Hold above that 680.24. Hold above that level. SPY stay below that 1985. Do we have anyone born in 1985? It sounds like a significant date. Right, SPY stay below 1985. That gives us some room into these highs here. Okay, room to continue to push. Okay, SPY overcome this initial trap area. We can see trap there. Came back into it, started to break, and now see if we can stay above it. So they did pay the bears here. They paid the bears there for a little bit. The VIX stay below that 1985. That's going to give SPY to run. Give room for SPY to run here. Now, let's see if Google can start to wake up. Okay, let's see if Google can start to wake up. There goes the Qs. Qs are at the highs of the day. SPY's at the highs of the day. IW is headed towards the highs of the day. Nice bounce off that 9. The Dow is starting to work its way as well. Look at this, guys. So it comes in, traps here, comes back in, bounces, stalls for a little bit, continues to push. Okay, now Google, it's your time to wake up. This is your window. Window of opportunity, Google. Window of opportunity. Okay. All the other names that came for the retest are doing well, just Google is being held up. Tesla's working out as well. So Tesla, okay. Spend some time there. Tesla's working out a little cleaner. Want Google above that 316.90. All right, 316.90. So with that break, Google barely moved. So we need SPY to continue to push higher. The VIX headed towards that 1950. Stay below 1986. JPM continues to push. We're starting to see Palantir go, of course. So where's the Exxon broke down nicely near those lows. Okay. Now, can we stay above 680? That's the question. Can we stay above 680? Can we stay above 680? Look at this, guys. I mean, if you're not taking profit, the market just eliminates the profit. This is the kind of candles that just come in. Look at that. So all the bulls trapped, and then now we're back below 680. This is what makes it so difficult. Okay, so do we wick back above 680, or does it send us all the way back lower? VIX stay below 20. That 20 on the VIX is going to give us the read. Look at this, 680 test. All right. Anyone else still in Google? If you're in Google again, manage accordingly. I'll have to maybe adjust my stop a little bit to VWAP, okay, because time has passed. Look at this whipsaw. Comes to 680, drops into it, starts to bounce off of it. VIX stay below 1986. Stay below 20. If it gets back above 20, more than likely we start to really potentially break down. Have you guys seen this action? Only one spy runner. Beautiful job. Beautiful job on the puts, guys. Beautiful job. Beautiful job. Beautiful job. Beautiful job. Who's done for the day? Lynn is done for the day. All right, so capital preservation is the name of the game at this point. All right, so one clean opportunity on Apple. This Google kind of stuck in the mud, not really going anywhere. And if it just comes down to these two trades, so be it. Okay, so Google, I'm going to move my risk just a little to VWAP, no close below VWAP. On the 5, slightly above the initial risk because of the time that's passed. Again, we haven't seen anything north of 5%. So we did see 5%. 5%. We saw drawdowns upwards of 25, 30%. So as the manager comes down to you, all right? Does the trade itself still look valid? Okay. Does it not look valid anymore? From my lens, from my perspective, it's still valid until we break that VWAP. All right. Do you continue to stay in? Do you abandon ship? That's up to each individual trader. Way to catch this nice little drop, guys. This is not easy to catch. 43%, 20%. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, good. Let's take a listen to CNBC here. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to refill my coffee. In the meantime, guys, let's get to 150 likes. We will do a giveaway. We have one giveaway. Let's get 2 giveaways in there for 11:30. And then possibly get into 200 likes, okay? So let's take a listen to our friends at CNBC. Google currently down about 20%. I have the stop moved slightly to VWAP, so no close below VWAP. Still very close to that risk territory. More than likely, we need price to stay on SPY above that 680. All right, for us to give us some breathing room. If it falls back under 680, VIX gets back above 20. Okay, and it holds and it continues to expand above 20. We can more than likely start to pull back across the board. All right, so SPY is riding this current trend line support and second shift. That's what's going to come down to. Can that trend line support hold? Right, does that hold or does that fold? If it folds, possibly send us back into that 679.07. If that holds, we and get back at that 680.24. So we rejected. We got into that 50% retrace to daily, and we got above it and fell back below it. Okay. Let's take a listen to our friends here at CNBC. We'll be back on the other side of this coffee refill.
Perhaps like the market, I'm a glass half full person, is that we've seen a real compression in multiples in the U.S. large cap space. So the real overhang there has been valuations, and we have seen that come down. The forward PE multiple of the Mag 7 has gone from 30 to 24. So we are seeing real attractive entry points in the U.S. large cap space. That doesn't take away our emphasis on the importance of a diversified portfolio, but perhaps to take some of the gains that our investors have benefited from in developed international and reallocate those in better values in the U.S. Large cap space is one of our new views.
It's not like international hasn't also gone on sale, or EM.
International hasn't gone on sale, nor has EM, but international had such a run. We favor EM over developed international, so perhaps lock in some of those gains. Don't exit it, just lock in some of the gains and take advantage of the opportunities. The real critical difference in the U.S. large cap space and what we saw each of the last 3 years is that it was basically 7 versus 493, right? It was the Mag 7, and they moved as a group. Today, investors are rewarding individual companies for strong business plans, dependable free cash flows, predictable free cash flows. So it is really an environment for stock selection, active management, and not expecting one group to move in tandem with its peers.
It's been a while since you have liked the sort of mega cap tech stocks, hasn't it?
Listen, the S&P is up 80%. We started the year with the U.S. up cumulatively 80% each of the last 3 years. So valuations have been a real concern. Can you invest and still make money? There have been more attractive opportunities in international, in EM, in EMD, safer asset classes. But this volatility today, we think presents an opportunity for investors to take advantage of some of the compression in the multiples.
Do you worry at all about the over-investment concerns around AI? I mean, that's really the fear, right, with some of the hyperscalers.
You could have ended that question after, do you worry? Yes, of course, I worry. But listen, AI and the concern around software, again, that's going to be selective. It's right now the whole software industry, the whole private credit industry has been punished. But there will be winners and there will be losers. And specifically in private markets, and we've talked about this before, private markets are not as efficient an asset class as public markets. So firm and manager selection in the private credit space is critical. The concern, as everyone knows, is that AI is going to eliminate the need for some of these software companies that these private credit firms have exposure to, and then they'll default. Yeah. That will not happen universally. So investing with high value, high quality managers with proven track records, low default rates is going to be even more critical. We have always emphasized it, and it will prove to be true again this time.
The other thing that's interesting to some is old economy, transports all-time high, new economy, stocks all-time high. Do you take profits in either of those, you think?
I think you can take some profits. I think there's no harm in taking some profits. I think what we need to worry about, going back to the question about do I worry, the real concern today, and the market isn't reflecting it because I don't think they're so concerned, is the duration of the conflict. So if we get out of this conflict in a relatively short period of time, oil will come down, the price at the pump will come down. If oil hits $150, $160, $170 a barrel, and the increase at the price at the pump extends to the increased prices of goods that our consumers have to buy, that is inflation. That will lead to higher rates. That will lead to much broader problems. But this is a midterm election year. The focus is on affordability. So I think it is in the administration's best interest.
Okay, I'm back. Google's still chopping around that territory. Got another shockwave signal there. But again, it's just a fight against time here at this point. SPY is just jammed between that 680 and that 679.57, trading in a very tight range. ATR is about to fall below that 70 right here. We are seeing some moves. Clean wheel on NVIDIA. NVIDIA is headed towards that 190. Riding that 90 MA nicely. Let's see if NVIDIA has enough room to ride that 190. Again, into the 190. Nice break on NVIDIA. Continue to expand. Once you got above that PMH, it's at TP3 already. So NVIDIA's gone. So semiconductors continue to hold everything up so far. Okay, they're holding everything up. Okay, Goog. Can Goog make a move here? Okay, can Goog make a move? SPY is messy here, team. SPY is messy here. So no trades on SPY today. That might be the first ever. Okay, first ever in over 300 plus episodes at this point. 300 plus episodes, no trades on SPY. Today might be the first. We will see. We shall see. Okay, we shall see. New. We're still on that 11 o'clock hourly candle. So if NVIDIA gets above that 180.63, continues to push. That expansion continues. We are seeing Broadcom come and test that top of that orb as well. Keep a close eye on Broadcom. Okay, can Goog start to work here? Can Goog start to work here? Okay, there we go, Goog. Up 5, 10, back to 5. Hold above 116.90 on Goog would be great. Again, SPY above that 680 is going to help Goog. So we came into this territory. We had a very big fight. Bulls came out the winner. We're still below the 20 on the VIX. Okay. Qs are starting to pick up some steam. Qs get to 612.87, then Qs get to the, okay, Google's up 17%. TP if you need to, guys. Okay, TP if you need to, that's 20%. Okay, if it's lotto for you, treat it as such, whatever you need to do. But 20%, if you have a change of plans, that's not a bad TP. Okay. $25, see if you get a nice continued push. These contracts will really start to go if we can make a $2.50 move on the underlying. $2.50 move on the underlying, they'll really start to go. Okay. If you took Google, you extract the TP already, put $sign in the chat. Okay. If you're still holding, diamond. $signs are diamonds. Okay, again, manage accordingly, team. Okay, however you need to manage accordingly. I sold 2 QQ calls, Tesla calls, 50%. QQ went 613, sold out. Beautiful job. Done first 30 minutes. Beautiful job. More money. VIX inverse relationship with SPY. Inverse relationship. I want Google to stay above 316, 316.90. Just stay above 316.90. See if I can squeeze a little more out of Google. At least into scale out, at least into 317.50. Up 20% here. If this is a scalp on SPY, 20%, I'll be out of there. Okay. So we did see about 25% on Goog. So let's see if Goog can continue to push. Slugfest on Goog to say the least. I'm going to keep adjusting the risk slightly to that VWAP. Okay. SPY. I can put it in one word. This last few minutes has been outside of scalps, guys, been atrocious. Even from the lens of a scalper, right? It's been tough as well. Okay. If you're looking for that complete breakdown on SPY, more than likely you need the VIX back above 20. Okay. You got the fuel behind those breakdowns. Okay, Goog. Okay, our friend Goog here. If we can break above those highs, we'll be good to go. I can possibly stretch us into 30%, 25, 30%. Yeah, the gap, that was probably the quickest fill we've seen. It filled in like 2 candles. Yeah, that was a quick fill of the gap. Gary, good morning, good morning, good morning. Just adjust SPY just a little bit like that. Goog gave us 25. Is that all it gives? We shall see. Back to close to break even on Goog. That 15-minute breaker is right there. So ideally, if those highs can they take it out before these lows, we'll be good to go. That 15-minute reversal trigger is all the way down here on Goog. 15-minute continuation trigger on the Goog is all the way up here. So let me make that nice and bright so we can see. Okay, so that's where we are. Jammed in that 15-minute range. Okay, if you already took profits, congratulations. I'm trying to see if I can get this all the way to TP. And see it through before falling back below VWAP to really play the risk reward in this case. So Google will be our lotto for the day. So let's see if we can go. If it's a scalp, 25% is more than appetizer, more than enough. No scale out, no 1R hit yet on Goog. Alphabet. Okay, SPY is starting to break down. VIX is starting to wake up. Okay, VIX is starting to wake up here. Above 20. That's interesting. So I'll at least let this 15-minute candle play out. So let's see if we can break above those highs. We get back to 25, 30 plus. We break below these lows, then we get back to maybe minus 15-ish, minus 20-ish. Okay. So make or break in this case. How are we doing on YouTube, guys? How are we doing on YouTube? Volume dropped. How's the volume now? If you're having a tough day, guys, if you're having a tough day in this action, okay, it's not easy action they're giving us. So again, don't fall susceptible to over trading. Okay, to trying to force and try to right your wrongs. All right, because the opportunities are not there. I haven't actually used the trailing stop order on Webull yet. I think I might have to update my version. Okay, we're good. Okay, good. Again, guys, make sure to like the video. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe. NVIDIA into 190. Yeah, if you have a good entry on NVIDIA, has a nice path to go towards that 190. Okay. If you're looking for a late entry NVIDIA, I would say this zone here. Shallow 188.69, 188.91 territory. Goog, back to the downside. The fact that we're looking to get back above the 20 on the VIX. SPY giving up that 680. Starting to break down slightly. Just zoom out on SPY's action. Just zoom out on SPY's action. When in doubt, zoom out. So we made these highs. We made these highs up here. We have the structural support. Okay, if the VIX gets above 20, starts to climb aggressively, SPY breaks below 679.57, that can open up the door for us to slide into this next key level, 679.04. Okay. Let's go to the 15-minute time frame real quick. We can see game plan. Go to the hourly. Hourly still, we're inside of that hourly range. 30. Okay, inside on the 30. 10. Inside on the 10. 5. We know what the 5 is doing. Of course, the 15. Right there. 4 hour. Okay, nice bullish 4 hour candle there. 12 hour. Okay. We had that massive gap down. Nice bounce off that territory. Nice. That 12 hours about to, if we can get above the 680.75, we will be we have an engulfing 12-hour candle. But for us, we're just primarily focused on the hourly. Okay, and the game plan chart 15. As for now, is the 680. Who wants to dictate the pace at the 680, and who wants to dictate the pace at the VIX 20? We just need that separation. Okay, separation is key here. That's what we're looking for. Still in goog here. Did see a drawdown upwards of 30%. Did see TP opportunity upwards of 25%. Still in the position. Looking for this to go to TP1 or close below VWAP. Okay. That's the plan. If you already extracted profits, great job. If this still is in play for your plan, then you're looking to hold, stick to the plan. But in the time where you do get stopped out, the fact that it went from green to red, right, shouldn't be an issue because it's part of the plan. The Dow's coming to test this VWAP here. Dow coming to test that VWAP. IW testing that EMA wave, testing some of those waves. Nice little downward compression there as well. Look at the IV. Look at the ATR below 70. This might get towards 50 when it's all said and done. It might get towards that 50 territory. Okay. Poll question for today on YouTube was, all right, look how split the poll is. Sentiment check, 9:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern. So far, bullish 47%, bearish 53%. All right, there isn't a real majority. We'll use that 60% as a majority, so there isn't a real majority. Do we have any first-time viewers, guys? First-time viewers. Volume was very low. Might have to turn it up on your end. Mr. CS Skipper or Mr. Skipper. Took 70%, 7% on Google calls. Good. Anyone else take yeah, so fast to take 100%. All right. So basically like a no trade day. And that's the theme of April. To be honest with you guys, that's how April has been. Right? April has been very sticky to kick things off. And the sentiment we were echoing from the very beginning of the month, because April started a couple of weeks ago at the very April and March kind of converged, right? The first couple of days of April were in the last week of March, right? The sentiment we were talking about was be aware of the changing of the conditions. And we have to put those things in place to be able to measure those changes so we can get a feel for the environment. All right. And we can completely see there's a different change in how price is moving. Low ATR conditions are here. Google is up 2%, 5% is teetering. So the fact that the SPY is selling off, that's not going to be good news for Google. So if you want to exit stage left based on market context, and if the VIX does reclaim 20, by all means. But if you want to take that into account, still let the position play out, that's also up to you. Okay, so in this case, we are starting to see that breakdown. What's going to really take us over the top is the VIX above that 20. Can we fall below this level? This already broke down structurally, already broke down. Okay, I got that bounce. Got that bounce. Got that bounce. No bounce there. Breakdown, retrace, reject. Okay, so for us to take it to the next level, VIX above 20, SPY below that that hourly open. We have a new shift coming up as well. On top of that, new shift in 5 minutes. So second shift, just one trade. The one trade was, of course, Google. Okay, let's see if Google can get above that 317.21. Anyone else take any other trades? Yeah, so if you want to be a striker, guys, if you're looking to join our community, use the code. There's a trial code available to the first 20 people. And once that's done, the community is going to close off. So we're only taking 20 traders at a time, as there's a huge demand for joining our community. And we want to make sure we onboard the people that are joining the right way, get them familiar with our tools and resources. Okay. So if you're interested in doing that for April, use the code April. Okay, we'll talk about how to join. Use the code April. Anyone in SPY puts here? If you are, good. See if Google can do the opposite of what SPY is doing in this case. SPY above that 20. We can start to sell off here. Google -5. And that 15-minute, we're still inside that 15-minute candle. So what I'm really waiting for is here. I want this 15-minute candle to pick a side. Has about 2 minutes left. All right, so you see the power of scalping in relation to this type of positional trading. Scalping 20%, 15%. That's why it's so powerful, right? You can see that when you're right within a minute or two. Apple, we saw that 20%. Okay, within 2 minutes. Beautiful job, BT 6305. Can Google make a solo mission into 317.21? And even SPY, even though it's moving lower, is still bouncing. Still, they're trying to shake out any shorts unless you have the perfect entry. Longs or shorts, you have to know exactly where to enter. It's very easy to get shaken out. Very easy to get shaken out. Very easy to get shaken out. Due to conditions done for the day, beautiful job. Microsoft, let's take a look at Microsoft. MSFT. Yeah, Microsoft looking clean. Oh, Microsoft does a nice toe. This key zone right there on Microsoft. Okay. And on top of that, of course, the shockwave that took place fast with this key zone. Retracement to the key zone. Okay, Google. What you got for us? Can we start to make a push above 317.21? If we can, that'd be great. Looks like a slow grind higher, and this is now becoming a race against the clock because these are 0 DTEs. They do expire today. So now Google needs to start waking up here because it's a race against the clock. You have to be right on two fronts. All right, so we did see upwards of 25%, but I'm looking to take this all the way up into those highs up there. And that would mean those contracts at those highs, those contracts are about 130. All right, so give or take, those contracts up here would probably, if we take into account theta, would probably get us into the 90s, between 190 and 110. 90 and 105, I should say. All right, if we can get there between 11:30 and 12 o'clock, we can see those contracts go to $1. If it just starts to stall, takes multiple hours, or gets invalidated, of course, it's not going to get there. But bullish case, it continues to push. Okay, look at the VIX. VIX is starting to wake up here. See if you get reclaim that 20. Qs are coming to test that 611.53. The Dow's bouncing off the VWAP here. IW is going back to retest 261.54. I'm trying to be as patient as possible with Google. Okay. The fact that the SPY is breaking down is not favorable for Google. I mean, Google's still showing signs of bullish activity, but it's not overall. In general, it's not favorable. Okay, new 15-minute candle is here. Okay, there we go. So inside on the 15. So Google needs to break this high right here. Breaks this low right here. Then it starts to reverse that 15-minute candle. Okay, so in this case, we need Google to get above that 317.13. And I'll move my stop all the way on Google, guys. I'll move it all the way to the initial entry territory. Okay. So no close back below that 316.46. Okay, moved it all the way there. Rather than having that same thing as earlier, as I want to see how this 15-minute candle plays out. Gets above 317.13, we'll be good to go. We break below 316.56. We close below it. Then I'll exit stage left. Especially with the VIX picking up some speed and the index is starting to show some signs of weakness. So I need this 317.13 to break here. I want that 15-minute to continue. Speaking of the Qs, nice bounce on the Qs up that 611.63. So you get that hammer candle with some follow through. See if that hammer candle can hold. We can see IW is also coming to test that 50% retrace. So both the Qs and IW are testing the 50% retrace of Friday's range. And the Dow is testing this VWAP. So again, if all of these tests across the board, okay, lead to buyers stepping back in, that can be favorable for our position. On the other hand, SPY is testing on the 5. SPY is testing slightly above the VWAP, above that daily downside breaker, rejected off that 50% retrace. Okay, testing some of those EMAs. We can see on SPY. Okay, Goog. It's your time to shine. It's your time to shine, Goog. Get above 317.13. In this case, if SPY can reclaim those lows, that'd be good. Goog is back up to 10%. That was the initial open of that hour. And interestingly enough, guys, SPY is opening up right at the lows of the prior shift. So they swept that right away. Okay, Goog, let's go. Okay, Goog. Okay, 17. So initially, when we got to this area before, it was 25. Now you can see the difference. Hold above 317.13. 317.13 hold. Okay, if you've been holding, you're tired of holding, feel free to TP. If you're going to hold some more, by all means, do what you need to do. Okay, let's get the likes up on YouTube, guys. We will do the giveaway here at 12. All right, we'll move it to 12. SPY, we swept these lows on SPY. Beautiful job, Firefly. I like how we're hammering off the VWAP. We're hammering off of this 50% retrace on the Qs. So see if the Qs can break above that 611.88. That would help Goog here. Then I'm going to part ways with Goog here because it's really not going anywhere fast. Okay, see if we can hold that level. If we can hold 317.13, I'll stay in. If Goog breaks back below this level here, 316.88, okay, I'll part ways with it. And in that case, I would like the Qs to get above 611.88. Okay, been in Goog for quite some time now, close to an hour. Which feels like more than close to an hour. Probably not an hour exactly, but feels like it's been a long time. At 15, don't want to see a shooter on that 15. That 15 minute, of course, has 8 minutes left. 8 minutes left on that 15-minute candle. SPY put on the head and shoulder, beautiful. SPY wants SPY to sweep these lows. Even SPY is moving gradually. So my NC on Goog is here. No close below here. Okay. NC on Goog is right there. So Goog start waking up. That'd be great. Okay, there you go, Goog. Finally. Back to 25. Back to where we were, essentially. Okay, scale out right there on Goog if you need to. So I'm going to use this as my NC. I'm going to use this as my NC. No close back below 317.13. Okay, 25 on Goog. See if SPY can get above 380. 680. Up 25 on Goog. See if we can get that to push. 32 on Goog. 35 on Goog. Finally. Okay. My NC on Goog is right here. Scale out if you need to, guys. All right, great job on being patient there if you were. Okay, I'll close right there at 30. All right, so close it right there at 30. Don't want to sit through anymore. If you can do it, if you have more patience than I do, by all means. Okay. And look at that. Right at the exit, continues to push, but I'm okay with it now. So I'll take my 30. It did push a little bit more into the 50s. But one shot, one kill on Goog. Took some time. Scale out provided. And then now it continues to push, but I'm okay at 30. A lot of back and forth. All right, so I don't want to sit there anymore back and forth. All right, so you can see the difference between the Goog setup and the Apple setup. Apple worked out fairly quickly because there was some momentum behind it. Time and place is critical. Goog took some time, didn't get invalidated, had to sit through the position for a little bit. If you're still in, manage accordingly. If you took profits already, don't start getting FOMO, start chasing. All right, just be willing to live with the results that you got. Okay, Goog continues to go, but I mean, again, if you close it early, I don't blame you. Because now look at Goog, guys. And this is coming from Shockwave as well. So Shockwave, if you have Shockwave as well, it's going to bring it to your attention. Okay, this one, of course, we talked about how that happens so fast, very difficult to catch it. But in the case of Goog, it does come pull back, so there's a way to catch it, unlike SPY. Of course, here it comes back in here, second signal. This is when we took it in this area on this initial reclaim in the 1040 territory. And another signal comes in, and now we're all the way here. Those contracts, they're at 56 cents now. Okay. But I might have to take one trade on SPY, not for the sake of forcing, but if a setup does present itself, okay. The streak of taking a trade every day on SPY has been going. And if it comes to an end today, guys, I mean, that's fine as well. Okay, so I'm on the team of mean reversion. So thank you very much, Goog. Thank you very much, Apple. Now let's go back to our regularly scheduled program. If you caught the cues off 611.63, break of 611.88, okay, that hammer off that EMA and that key level, you're good. You're golden as well. Okay. On SPY, the mean reversion, the grab of these lows. All right. Okay. So that's the kind of action it's been. That mean reversion was nice. Right there. Who's done for the day? SPY, next target. If you take this mean reversion, right here, your target is 680. From here to here. That's your window. If you want more, of course, if it gets above 680, then from 680 to 680.24. And from 680.24 to 680.66, the highs of the day. Okay, so even this mean reversion, okay, this is, you can take it to 680. You can even take it to here, 679.53. But if it's if that was an idea that I sent out, and I'll say if I was using that mean reversion as a lotto, okay, that target would be that 680. Okay. Check back on Goog. Okay, that was good. I can live with that. Okay. Because now fell back below that NC. All right, if I was still holding, maybe when it got back to NC, it's up 15, 20%. So I'll take my 30%, and that's fine. All right. Okay, SPY. The only thing I can go with here is a mean reversion, so I have to wait entire. Either come take out those highs. We already took out these lows. We already took out those lows, so there's nothing there. I don't want to take any bounces off levels. I just want to take mean reversions. On SPY, head and shoulder. Yep, I see that, doctor. Great eye. Great eye. Let's go to the game plan chart real quick. The one of our captains sees is this one right there. Very subtle, but it's apparent. Okay. If you treat a support as fixed horizontal, right, then you're in trouble. Because the way we classify patterns, okay, we can classify this as an ascending head and shoulder. It doesn't only have, the neckline doesn't always have to be just horizontal. Okay, it can be ascending, it can be descending. Okay, so keep a close eye on that. So we're jammed between the chop zone, market donation, market is taking donations between 680 and 679.07. All right, the market is taking donations between that area. Qs are headed back towards that key level. 50% retrace, nice bounce on the Dow as well. Let's get the likes up, guys. Continue to like the video. Make sure to subscribe. Our next goal is, of course, to get to 4,650 subs. Help us get there, guys, on our goal to 5K subs. That's a huge milestone for us. I don't take any of our subscribers, any of our viewers for granted. Okay, we've been building this from day one stream at a time, one trade at a time. So if you do enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe. For today, we did take those 2 trades. Apple played out nicely. Goog took some time to play out. We finally cracked the profits at 30. And looking for an opportunity on SPY. There's a couple opportunities available on SPY, but nothing too clean. The protocol this morning was, okay, we knew we have no, outside of that 10 o'clock catalyst. Okay, that catalyst being the blockade on the Hormuz. Outside of that, we have nothing on the calendar. It's as silent as can be. So it's just us and price. Okay, us and price. Good morning, Brad. All right, so in this case, it's going to be very important to be very diligent in the amount of trades you take, being very, very picky, because you lose nothing by taking no trades. You can make the argument, hey, you know what? I missed opportunities. That's fine. If you have that abundance mindset, there is more opportunities to come. So you can't say you missed that opportunity. Right? But if you have the scarcity mindset, if you miss an opportunity, right, that's gonna force you to make trades that are not part of your plan to compensate for that missed opportunity. All right, but if you do this for long enough, guys, all the opportunities that are available every single day is just an abundance of opportunities. So don't take any trades outside of missed opportunities. Say you did a tremendous job not taking any trades, being disciplined for this entire 2-hour stretch. Right? And now the urgency to take trades all of a sudden makes you impatient and take something low quality. All right, so be very, very careful from that standpoint. For those of you who are done, you can, of course, be done. For those of you who took no trades, that's fine as well. Nothing aligns with your game plan, that's fine as well. I make the analogy of, hey, you know what? Your wife or your spouse sends you to the grocery store. She asks you to get eggs and milk. Okay, that's your trading plan. That's your grocery list. If you go to the grocery store and bring back a steak and bring back some chips, right? You're not sticking to the plan. It might be better for you to go to the store and say, hey, you know what? They had no eggs and milk, and I came back. You still might get questioned on why you didn't go to a different store, but I promise you that would be better than if you got something completely different. Same thing with trading as well. So if it doesn't meet your criteria, if it doesn't meet your list, if you don't take anything, that's better than taking something that does not satisfy your criteria. Okay. Yeah, the head and shoulders looking like it wants to break. If it can break these lows down here, depends on how you have that trend line drawn. Could be on the fence between this low, that low. Let's draw it. It might be right on that support right there. So head, left, head, possible right. Break down into 679.07. Okay. 65% on Google. Beautiful job, Troy. Good. All right, so abundance, the 100% Lynn. All right, we don't want to come into the market, all right, just thinking the opportunities are limited. This can happen, and we missed it. That's false. If you have the proper setups, the proper techniques, even if you're on our team, guys, I'm going to bring those setups to our table. Okay, and sometimes it's too many. Right, sometimes it's too many for me to even compute. Okay. I'm new, so just watching and learning the process. Absolutely, guys. And continue to build your process. Continue to build your process, your system. But great job. Great job on that 65% on Google. So you probably had a better entry. But tremendous job. You did have to sit through some back and forth. So some trades call for different things. Some trades call for different things. So if it's a scalp, in my book, I'd be in that fairly quickly, in and out. If it's something, hey, make or break, I'll let it play out. 100% doctor. This reminds us of the action that we saw. Remember in summertime when we were making those constant all-time highs, and then we would get stuck near all-time highs, and it was just this kind of action. We've seen it before. We've seen it before, and the longer you tune in, the better you get at getting these reads. Okay, you can only get better. If you're making the proper adjustments, you can only get better. Okay, Walmart's so clean. Okay, that one slipped through the cracks. Walmart finally broke down. Now look at Walmart, WMT. Scale out already. Name of the game is patience. Very clean, gets that break, falls off a cliff, gives that one setup. NVIDIA starting to pull back into some of those EMAs. Okay, NVIDIA breaks. Unlike SPY, NVIDIA actually offers a retest. Unlike SPY, which is when NVIDIA gives you the signal and it gives you that retest. All right, so this satisfies the criteria, okay, of that retest entry if you're looking for that. All right, so in this case, we do chart replay. You can see breaks and it comes back and retests. That's your entry. If you just take the break, by all means, that can be you as well. And then look at NVIDIA. TP1, scale out, TP2. Okay, and then TP3, that 190 is right there. We're getting close to that 190 territory. Now we're here on NVIDIA. Okay, so we fell just short of that 190 after going double top here and start to fade. Okay. So let's do the giveaway, guys. We can start putting your names in the chat. Let's get the likes up. Let's get to 150. We'll do the giveaway. Okay, start putting your names in the chat. Okay, hold on. Let's fix this a little bit. So the VIX is just hugging that 20. Okay. VIX is hugging at 20. Yeah, so I do have a dashboard I'm paying attention to on Shockwave to bring the ideas. I'm looking at it on a separate screen. But the main thing is, guys, I don't want to turn into the focal point is one ticker to do a majority of the heavy lifting. Right now, you don't want to be playing the game of chasing tickers because that's a different game. Okay, because now that's when a lot of times the trading multiple tickers, that's when the over trading, missed opportunities, and FOMO starts to kick in. Right, so we have to be very strategic in the ones that we do take. And the ones that I do take on an individual front, it's almost like this. My primary focus is SPY. Okay, so my primary focus is SPY, or the primary focus is SPY. If there's an opportunity, and we know SPY is an ETF comprised of 500 individual names, we focus on the top 20 names, and then that's why we have our list. Our list, okay, the SAT list is called the Terrific 12. Okay, so SPY and the Terrific 12. Okay, is what I'm eyeing. Of course, along with SPY, you have the indexes, so on and so forth. For me to go to these names and become a individual stock picker, for me to go over here, okay, and look for opportunities there, that means there isn't something clean here. Okay, so it's the game is you have units of risk you can allocate. You have opportunities you can distribute. So you have your opportunity, which is risk. Or you see you see risk. You're allocating risk, and say you're going to allocate your risk in a place where there's a better opportunity than here, than SPY. So you go to the terrific 12, or if the opportunities on a SPY are clean per usual, then you stay here. Because I don't want to take something in the terrific 12, okay, that's not as clean as SPY, because we already know SPY like the back of our hand. So the edge is SPY itself. Because with these individual names, sometimes they move, okay, differently. And they move differently. If there's a catalyst, if there's news that comes in, so they can move differently and they have personalities. So its primary focus is SPY. By default, risk allocation is towards SPY. But if the conditions are not favorable, then I'll look for something in the terrific 12. Because if you're just trying to play the game of I'm just looking to allocate the opportunity wherever it comes, that's very, very possible. But at the same time, you're juggling a lot of things. You're juggling. You have to be good at juggling. All right, because some go, some don't, some pause, and you have to constantly be dealing with that. So you have to have something in place to ensure that the juggling, when you're juggling and deciphering opportunities, that it doesn't trigger some kind of FOMO or some kind of revenge trading in the case where you do miss an opportunity. So for us, it was between Tesla holding a certain level and Google. So say if Tesla goes parabolic and Google doesn't go anywhere, and we took Google. The reality of the situation is now you're thinking, okay, Tesla left, and you took the wrong one. So that can be a trap within itself as well. And that has some hurdles you have to overcome. If you start playing that game, that's a different kind of game. All right, so that's kind of my thinking as the individual. As when we trade the SPY itself, and same thing with the QQQ. So QQQ, I go to QQQ sometimes, I go to IWM sometimes. If I think the move already took place on SPY, and there's a little more juice left on that different index ETF as opposed to SPY. Those are the only cases. Okay. So you have to find something that the healthy medium. All right, so giveaway time, guys. Make sure to put your names in the chat. Keep putting your names in the chat, guys. There are about 200 people in the chat. If you're a first-time viewer, let us know where you're joining from. Long-time viewers, take the next steps. Join our community. You have access to all the resources and tools. The best way to join is go to smartactiontraining.com. That's your home for all things that pertain to our resources and tools. Okay, Shockwave is available, guys. Take advantage of that. If you did take advantage of that, some of you did purchase, make sure to send over your email, your TradingView username to me via email. Okay, April 30th is the last day for the early bird special. After that, it goes to regular price. If you want to join our community, make sure to use the code April. The code is April. Okay, code is April. You click join. I'll put the link there. Okay, we're taking 20 spots every month. So you took April, you type April, and then you apply the code. Okay, when you do so, you save 15% your first month. Think of it as a trial. If it's your cup of tea, you find it as being your home. You like the resources and tools there. Upside is unlimited. If it's not your cup of tea, your stop loss is $58. Okay, so that within itself is a trade. And I would argue this is the best trade you can make. All right, this is the best trade you can make. All right, stop loss $58. All right, so again, if you're looking to join, use the code TRIAL Well, not the code trial. We've been using that code last month. Use the code April. Okay, April, 20 spots. Once that fills up, that's full. Then you have to wait. You have to wait until May. All right. So especially as we get closer to these summer months, it's very important that you know how to properly navigate the summer conditions. Okay, so we're coming into the summer conditions where trading gets very choppy, very tricky. Okay, and what happens is a lot of the traders that made all their profits in Q1 give everything back in Q2 and Q3 and try to make everything back in Q4 when the conditions pick up. Okay, so you definitely want to align yourself with a team, resources, and tools to make sure you're sharp as we get closer to the summer months. All right. I had the privilege to navigate through the summer months with our team, some of our team members last year. So again, there's going to be another summer in the books, and we're going to be prepared for that when it does come. Whatever the market throws at us, we just do our best to stay prepared based on experience, based on strategies, based on the right mindset and the right psychology. Okay, so let me get the wheel, the infamous wheel, and there's the link. Okay. Use code April. So that there's a slight delay on YouTube. There's a slight delay on YouTube. So the idea is when you're in our chat, you get it without delays, without ads. When we buy a program, when we get rich, that's up to you, right? Right. It's like saying this: when you buy a car, when can you drive it? That's up to you. You can drive it whenever you want. Okay, Goog fell below 50% retrace. We're starting to break down there. Doctor, that head and shoulder that you called out, starting to play out nicely. And it's not only me in there, guys. We have a handful of technicians on our team that are great at identifying patterns. So if something's gonna take place, it's gonna come through our chat. Especially when we have hundreds of eyes on SPY. Okay, so let me do the list real quick for the giveaway. Okay, I'm going to collect all the names. Uh, 15 minutes for 10% scalp. That's when we get that 10%, 15% during the open for a few minutes. That's why those are great TPs. Beautiful job, Firefly. And I like how you size down, okay? Making the adjustment. VIX is back above 20, so you can get that full separation. We'll get that full separation away from it. We're starting to break down already. We got that head and shoulder breakdown taking place. Trend line support has been compromised. We break below 679.07. We can start to really drop into the 678.50, 678.45 territory. So this is the last line of defense for the bulls. So can they rally off of this? Or do we completely start to slice and dice through it and get to the 678.50s and 45s? That's what I'd like to hear, Firefly. Tremendous job. You've been putting a lot of work in. All right. So continue to do that. Discipline, patience, very, very key. Anyone riding this to the downside, you'd end up taking that to the downside, doctor. If you did, tremendous, tremendous job. Okay, let's start off with everyone in the Google Meets first, and then we'll go to the Discord, and then we'll go on YouTube. Okay. Let me take these names off. Okay. We got Riri. Okay. Okay. Who's done for the day? We'll do our poll here shortly. All right, let's see if we can get one lotto win. If it calls for it. If it's there, it's there. If it's not, don't mind wrapping it up. Okay, Jasper. We got Smooth. And for those of you who are in the Discord, guys, I know I was talking about price increase last couple of weeks. If you're in, okay, you will never see a price increase on your membership. You're grandfathered in. Okay, so you have no worries. Okay, so you're grandfathered in. Any new tiers get added, you're automatically grandfathered in. Okay, so you're not going to see any increase. So some of you did send me a message about that. Okay, you're not going to see an increase. The price you pay is the price you pay. That doesn't change. So there's no inflation. All right? There's no inflation tax. Okay, I got everyone up until Freddie and in the Google Meets. I'll check again once I'm done with the Discord, and then we will go to YouTube. So keep putting your names in the chat. We got Brandon. We got Nambish. Let's take a listen to our friend. Look at this, guys. Like, you get one of these candles. Comes into here, and look at that. There we go. Shenanigans. Okay. Right off that key level. Okay, look at that. Jennifer. It's almost like you see profit, you take profit. It's like nothing beyond that. What they're really rewarding is the profit takers. If you're looking for some kind of expansion, you're looking for some more, you're going to get caught. More times than not. I got everyone up until Ricky G trade wins. Yeah, 100. The ATR is collapsing, guys. $100%. Tesla. So I got everyone all the way up until trade wins. Okay. And this is the give back. I would say this is a give back money hour. This market is running a donation in this area. All right. So very, very unstable, choppy, tricky in this territory here. Keep in mind it's midday. It's 12 o'clock. Okay. It's like you try to go short here, you get caught. You try to go long above 680, you get caught. Okay, they're trying to catch everyone. They're coming after everyone. Tesla. Okay, Tesla's holding this. Somewhat of an inverse head and shoulder on Tesla. See if you can hold VWAP. Tesla took off TP2. The two things I was contemplating was, of course, Google and Tesla, Alphabet and Tesla. In that case, Tesla played a little nicer than Google, but we already got what we need out of Google. So that's old news now. Okay. That is old news. Now this is the stretch. So good TP there. If not, got to go back lower. And maybe you move your TP to VWAP. Maybe you have it the same, but those contracts are ticking time bomb at this point. Okay. I already turned down 2025. Well, that last little push couldn't turn down that 30 plus opportunity. And it did give us a scale out. So at least got 1 R out of it, 1 for 1. Test doesn't matter if it can hold VWAP. Okay, let me get the names on YouTube, and then we'll do the spin. In the meantime, guys, make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe. I'm going to start off all the way at... Okay, Troy. Mercy, Thomas. Okay, Rev. Anyone see UFC, the main event? Any UFC fans? Anyone see the main event? If you did, okay, that is very telling of what a trader who doesn't take profit looks like. If you know, you know. I'll break it down for people that don't understand what I'm talking about. So there was a title fight. I was able to watch the title fight in the UFC, so MMA. And one of the challengers was between two of them were contenders. The belt was vacated. The champion left to a new division, and the belt was up for grabs between these two contenders. Okay. During the fight, one of the contenders literally tears his ACL. His ACL pops, and his leg is rendered useless. And what ends up happening is the other guy, he lets his guard down. Instead of going for the kill, instead of taking profit, taking advantage of the opportunity, he lets his guard down, and the guy with one leg knocks him out and puts him to sleep. Okay, so that's very, when I saw that, my trading brain automatically drew that illustration. Okay, I got Hussein. So if you do watch UFC, if you did catch that fight, that was very telling. Same thing. When there's profit to be taken, sometimes we want more, we don't take it, and within a minute, it disappears. Got Keith M. We got Keith M. We got Chas. S. We got B. So 150 likes will do 2 spins. 200 likes will do 3 spins. Again, guys, make sure to like the video while I'm typing these names. In the meantime, let's take a listen so you don't have to hear me type.
The makeup of the market has changed. The war has changed it back to now a more growth-oriented environment from what was working before, which is why you had the broadening, which is why Steph can read off the stats she did about value outperforming growth. Right. I hear you making a case that you think that's going to be the new normal now, whereas I think Steph is trying to make an argument that she thinks we're going back to the broadening story again.
But yet, you know what's the most interesting? In this downdraft, the most names that I've bought has been in technology. Some hardware, some semis, some software, getting hit there for sure. That's not an easy play, but I do like the valuations there. So I think...
Okay, got all the names, guys. If you want to add your name to the giveaway, make sure to do so. Intel came right into this weekly upside breaker. Bounce starts to go. And now Intel is giving us a signal here after the Shockwave hour. Intel is giving up a buy signal there after Shockwave hour. So again, take that with a grain of salt. Intel, this key zone retest on Intel played out nicely. So you might be asking yourself, what is a key zone? I'll break this more down in the boot camp. The key zone is simply, I don't get to choose the zones. Okay, a key zone is when 2 SAT levels converge. Okay, so when 2 of my key levels converge, I get a key zone. Okay, and I don't get to choose where the key zones are. The market tells me where the key zones are. Okay, so it's not arbitrary. All right, so when those key zones align with other things, it becomes a high probability setup. If it lines up with EMAs, VWAP, especially the EMAs after making a nice push higher or a nice drop to the downside, those key zones present an opportunity. Okay, a great entry opportunity and a place where you want to look for a certain set of things to confirm your directional bias. The Dow just took off, guys. The Dow just took off and almost wicked into the highs of the day. So the laggard in this case is the Qs. In this last stretch, the Dow took off. IW is starting to take off. IW is fueling back up. SPY and the tech is weighing down the SPY. Tech is weighing down SPY. Okay. So I have all the names into Corinne. So we'll do the spin at 12:30. All right. So in the meantime, feel free to put your names in for the giveaway. See if you can get to 150 or 200 likes. Subscribe if you haven't. We'll look for a lotto in the meantime. We'll look to take our stream today until maybe 1:30, 1 o'clock, 1:30, and take it from there. As far as SPY is concerned, we continue to chop around this territory. If you have any chart requests, feel free to put your charts in. Put your request in. Today, the two trades we did take was Apple and Google. Google took some time to play out, but eventually worked in our favor, and Apple played out fairly quickly. Okay, so SPY, mean reversion lottos, I'll be there for it. That'll be available after 12:30. Grab at these lows or grab at these highs, I'll be there for it.
Several years become more growth oriented. We took a position in Train Technologies in October of 2023. It's speaking to exactly what you're identifying, the AI infrastructure build out as it relates to cooling for data centers. Well, guess what? Train Technologies, we look at that stock now.
Nice rejection on the VIX off that 20. Nice rejection on the VIX off that 20. Let's continue to listen. Does this look like Tesla's holding? Tesla, let's take a look at Tesla. That's IW. Actually, you know what? Let's take a look at it together. Okay. Let's use our collective trader consciousness to decipher this. We'll say VWAP is in this territory. Okay. So it just depends on where your entry is. Okay. So put in the chat, does Tesla look like it's holding this level? Yes or no? Y or N? Is Tesla holding this level, treating it as support? Or is Tesla failing to hold it at this current juncture, regardless if you have a position or not? Okay. Is it holding or folding on the 5? And view up is right there. Tesla already hit TP a couple of times. Okay. If you ask me, to me, it's holding. The reason why it's holding is because now the onus is on the bears to take this back lower. The bulls already did their job. They got it above. They came back for the retest. Right? Unless it just goes lower and it flips back, right? I'll give it to the bulls here that it's holding. Okay. Are you guys having a hard time hearing me, guys, on YouTube? Are you guys having a hard time? Let me know how the audio is on YouTube. Let me know how the audio is. Okay, so Tesla. Okay, it's just VWAP is in this area. It's basically testing that VWAP. So in that case, if you're long up VWAP, what you want to see is you want to see that close back above VWAP. You want to see price continue to push higher. You want to see a potential hammer off VWAP. And when the hammer comes in, you want to break above those highs. And look at this, guys. Look at this. Shenanigans. Look at this. I mean, look at this wick. How can I trade this? How's the volume now? How's the volume now, guys? Testing, testing, testing. How's the volume now? So even this trap, this mean reversion, how quickly it happens. So you can start to see these algos really doing what they need to do. Okay? So a lot of those concepts are starting to come into play as far as what we talk about every day. So it comes to these highs, traps. So that mean reversion left without us. Okay, good. Is it too loud now? Is it too loud? Let me know. And the VIX is falling off a cliff. VIX is falling off a cliff. Okay, much better. Okay, good. Good. All right, for those of you joining for the first time, guys, welcome to the team. I see some of you have joined already. If you need help at any point, join the Discord. All the instructions are there, but you can feel free to reach out to me. I know everyone is not familiar with Discord, so again, I can't always help you get set up. And if you're having any issues accessing any of the channels, you can send me a private DM or send me a DM on WhatsApp. Okay, welcome to the team. Go through the course. It comes with your subscription. Go through all the material. Okay, immerse yourself in all the resources and all the tools. And welcome aboard. So Tesla holding. So we're right at the midpoint of Friday. We're right at the midpoint of Friday. And this is to be expected. So stocks after dark. Okay. This is what we were talking about yesterday, right? Barring some kind of announcement. Of course, we had the blockade come in this morning where it officially takes into effect. Outside of that, all right, there's no catalyst. There's no catalyst. Economic catalyst, that is. Okay, mean reversion, if you're somehow, some way able to get filled in that would be it. But the more I stare at this, the more I'm disliking the action. But I do want to throw a lotto out there. But at the same time, we don't want to be careless for the sake of it being a lotto. Okay, you could have been done from the very first trade. Okay. You can be done from the very first trade. Speaking of trades, are you in Tesla, David? If you are, manage accordingly. Okay, just manage accordingly. TP where you need to. We're going to do the end of stream poll here, team. Again, completely voluntary, but it gives us a good feel how everyone is doing. Poll question, how'd you do so far? Red, yellow, green. Okay, so 2 trades today, both worked in our favor. We'll leave that up here. All right, so VIX falling off. Okay, now they got that nice little shake and bake here. And then now we're well above that 50% retrace, and Tesla's probably taking off as well. Okay, there you go, Tesla. Great job, David. So this was a grab of these shift highs. So we have about 5 minutes left. I'll probably lean towards a grab of these highs, wherever these highs are. Okay, this is looking very grabby, manipulation type of condition. So we know we have things in place to trade the manipulation. Not too loud, okay. This might be the strongest hour. The strongest hour the bulls had since the open. And believe it or not, guys, we're getting very close to prior day highs. The weekly upside breakers up here. So if we get above here, that weekly candle becomes directional. Let's check back here. Okay. Are we seeing some ships? I mean, granted, this might be slightly delayed. Okay, so the blockade. So position received six minutes ago. Small vessel here. Okay, so nothing. So it looks like there's nothing in the straight currently. There's either things turning away, but nothing going through. All right, but look at all the ships I need to get through. I think the effects are really going to start to get felt, especially on the countries that are relying on Iranian oil. 30 days, 60 days out. Because those countries probably have reserves, right? They can tap into their reserves. But once the reserves start getting low, because it's like a delayed effect. If you're not getting the shipments in, okay, if they reopen it, the ships can't get to you the next day. It's not Amazon. It's not Prime delivery. Okay. Once the passage is open, when it does get open, the ships are not going to be there within 2 days. It's going to take some time for them to get their set destination. So those countries might be facing some pressure. So just imagine I think it was South Korea last week or the week before that put some restrictions on consumption. All right, 2 minutes away from the giveaway, guys. 2 minutes away from the giveaway. If we're at 150 likes, we'll do the giveaway. We'll do 2 giveaways. I'll explain what the giveaway is. If we're at one, if we just fall shy of 150 likes, then we'll just do 1 giveaway today. My goodness, look at this. This parabolic bounce off of here. Okay, for the sake of argument, let's just do this. What if you were short here? Okay, I always say this. If you're a disciplined trader, when you're wrong, you're stopped out. If you refuse to be wrong and you refuse to get stopped out, you'll get wiped out. Right? So there's a way for you to be short here and be wrong and move along. Right? So because we're starting to break down. If you took this bounce, you target that 680, and then this thing takes off. And now we're headed towards that weekly upside breaker, guys. We're headed towards that weekly upside breaker. The IW small caps just went 3 up. Small cap just went engulfing. Okay, if we can grab these highs, I'll look to go mean reversion. Okay, high risk mean reversion. Beautiful job, JB. Okay, this will be a high risk mean reversion, kind of going against everything, but just playing the overall movement of the candles. Looking at the 680s will be Lotto. Is going against the trend, going against the grain. Back into this territory. All right, this is a clear push higher. VIX is going the other way. So I want to see if we can grab those highs. Look at the 15-minute stretch. 15, 15, 15, 15, 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So hour and 15 minutes. See, we got a grab here. Mean reversion, quick mean reversion to the downside for the 680s. Nothing there. And then won't do anything. Okay, so this one would be, and validation marker would be weekly upside breaker trigger. So we get above prior day highs and prior week highs. And target will be prior shifts high right here. That gives us about a 2 to 1, a little more than the 2 to 1. I want us to grab that. I want us to go peek above it, grab it, and then start working their way. Yen, okay, gotcha, yen. Okay, in the meantime, let's do the giveaway. Look at this, guys, just like 3 cents away from that entry. $0.03 away. Okay. If you are short already, okay, you can start to target this territory, the 9, initially. Do we have any more people that want to enter the giveaway? Trump speaking soon. Let's take a look at it. If he is, we'll have that coverage. We'll have that coverage. It looks like okay, look at this. See if we get some sort of see if we get some sort of wick here. Super high risk. If it continues to expand above that 682.03, I'm not taking the trade. I want to see a wick back below that level. The 680 puts, super high risk, lottos. Okay, I'll take it right there. Okay, couldn't even get filled. Okay, couldn't get filled in that candle. See if you can push one more time to get that fill. Okay, couldn't get filled at 48. So let me close that out. But if I did get filled, even this nice little drop there, that's nice. Right? It's even hard to get filled. So if you did get filled there, manage accordingly. TP where you need to. This candle, tried to get my order in there, but fell so quickly. Couldn't get it in. All right, super aggressive. Manipulative, trappy action. Okay, so just couldn't get filled there. Yeah, one more little push. One more little push. But look how it did it. Came right to a T. All right, to a T. One little push. And then to here. 681.64, 681.60. At least a gravitation back towards a 9. The reversal trigger is here. The reversal trigger is here. So I want to see a wick once again. Okay, so I can get filled there. Okay. And the lotto's here. All right. So again, my risk is up here. If it continues to push, then I get out of there. Okay. I'm out of there. Minus 15. Okay. It's getting a little aggressive, a little out of hand. So lottos didn't even last 10 seconds. All right. It just continued to push there and stopped out 15. Okay. And you can argue, hey, was that necessary? Probably not, but I did feel comfortable taking it. The lotto's there, and my risk was here, and just very quickly, with less than 10 seconds, got stopped out. Okay, so on that note, we'll be done for the day. So our one trade for today on SPY stopped out. If you're still in it, because you don't want to see that close above that 682.03, just manage accordingly. Be very, very cautious. I was probably less than 3 seconds in the trade. Okay. And that's just the kind of environment we're in. That's probably the fastest stop out that I've seen. All right. So on that note, done for the day. In theory, the trade is still holding up. Right. But I have no interest in engaging this kind of action. But what we are seeing is we're seeing those grabs of those highs. So again, after that first hour, those session high grabs, they do come into play. Even if they don't go all the way to the floor, they do present those opportunities. So that's the adjustment to make moving forward. And that was a vicious push. Vicious push. So now they have all those bulls. They got them there. So where do they want to take them? I make the argument that, hey, you know what? They drive all those bulls all the way. We trapped them, dragging them all the way here. And the bulls say, hey, you know what? We can pick this thing back up and then drive it back higher. Okay. Let's do the giveaway. I have all the names set. $680 puts. If you're still in those, okay. If you didn't get wick there, it just depends. Just manage accordingly, but make sure it's a lotto. Okay, make sure it's something very minimal that is it's late day. Okay, you don't want to have profits you don't want to use your profits from earlier, trying to catch another push. Again, by all means, do what you have to do. But it's just best practice. Okay, all I can do is express best practice, things that can help you. So in theory, right, volatility and execution stopped out wrong. So Firefly, great job on staying in there. Can you set stop losses on options on Thinkorswim? Yes, you can do it on Webull now as well as Thinkorswim, I believe. And I'm probably going to do another Webull video. So the best video on the channel. I don't make too many videos on the channel. I just stick to the lives. All right, we still have to grow that aspect of our channel to provide as much value as possible to the people tuning in. But the best performing video on the channel is the Webull tutorial on how to set up Webull. Okay, so we might have to do another one because with the Webull update, might have to run that back and do a 2026 version. Okay, on Webull. So be on the lookout for that. Anyone holding these lottos? Right. If your stop is a close above it, you're probably still in. Again, just manage accordingly. There's going to be a lot of back and forth whipsaw action. Make sure you don't lose an arm and a leg for the sake of being right. There's a lot of back and forth. Taking some SPX puts here. Okay, good. All right, let's do the giveaway. We have 100 and we have 150 likes to do 2 giveaways. I'll explain the giveaway, what you get exactly. Okay, we're at 143 likes. We had over 1,200 people stop by. Yeah, the thing is with this setup to the downside, okay, we're counter trend. So that means we're going against the trend. We know this trend is strong. We know it's a bull trend. But essentially, when you break down a trend, an uptrend, we'll just use an uptrend example here. There are opportunities to short an uptrend. And the opportunities to short an uptrend, right, is going to be taking the shorts at these very specific points where those higher highs are made. Not just any random higher high, but a calculated higher high that aligns with some game plan, that aligns with some levels, some zones, and a few couple things. So that last setup was essentially kind of like this. There's the last setup. Okay. Is this higher high forming? Okay, and this higher high, okay. So shorting the uptrend, moving into this territory. So what you're looking to do is you're looking to target. Okay, initially you're looking to target. If you're going short, if you're right, you're looking to target this into the next low. So your first target is going to be into this low. So you take profit by that time, right? When your runners start to get active is when the trend and the cycle completely breaks down. Okay, but most of the time you take it to this area because you get that natural bounce and that uptrend. But if it starts to really break down, okay, you win on both sides. You go from winning to really winning. Okay, that's what the last trade, that's what the attempt was. All right. As you can see, from a theoretical standpoint, from a technical standpoint, where does it go to? It goes exactly to this territory. All right, but I just got stopped out because it just flashed above there, wicked above there. But the primary focus is what's really going on. Now there's your TP. Your TP is down here because now this is when the bulls are looking to potentially reload because this is the natural next low. That's the higher low. So you notice the TP's into this territory. Okay, so for my case, when I was in a position, they just gave me a little shake and bake. They just kind of shook me out, but the intended move took place. If you're looking for something beyond this, you're looking for a structural shift. You're looking for a cycle change. Because as it comes here now, if you're looking to be bullish, you're looking to go long off of that next higher low. Okay, so it's very important that you understand these things. Okay. You guys take profit there? Let me know if you took profits there. If you did, great job. Book $4 profit SPX. Beautiful job, Rakesh. Beautiful. Okay, let's do the giveaway now, guys. Let's do the giveaway. Giveaway time. Because look, it came right to that 9 MA and now it's starting to bounce. Intel, okay, Intel. I saw that message a little late, 2/12/28. Intel. Yeah, Intel. Pratik, Intel is just out of here. Freight train. So initially broke there. Okay, so you have to sit through it and get stopped out and eventually start to work out here. Intel playing out nicely. So Shockwave, Intel, the entry came in at 1150, never got stopped out. and it's about to hit 1R. Okay, so about to hit 1R. All right. Upward buying channel normally turns into sideways chop and breaks down. Yep. Okay, so anyone scalp that quickly to the downside or the upside? And that's the kind of conditions we're in, guys. See profit, take profit. See profit, take profit type of conditions. You have to be very, very sharp. What do you think about Apple? Apple, I've been taking a look at Apple since the opening drive. We caught on the last scale out on Apple, we caught a nice 40% on Apple. Right here. So we caught Apple here to the downside. So technically, still didn't get stopped out after that second entry. And it went all the way down there once again. So Apple, I already took Apple. Now Apple's just trading near the lows of the day. Near the lows of the day in that general area. Lows of the day. Okay. So that's my thoughts on Apple. Okay, let's spin the wheel. So far we have 145 likes. Let's spin the wheel. Okay, today's winner. What do you win when you do after the spin? After the spin, what do you win? So it depends. If you're a Spy Strikers member, okay, boot camp ticket. Okay, the upcoming boot camp ticket that's going to be available. Okay, the highly anticipated live mastering Spy Scalping boot camp coming up. It's not available for you to sign up yet. Okay, so it's not available yet. I'm flirting with a couple of dates, probably the last Saturday of this month or first Saturday next month. Once it's official, the link will be here available, and the boot camp will only be $99. That's going to be the boot camp. All right, if you do win, you have access to this. Okay, Spy continues to climb, guys. We're direction on the weekly. Strikers, if you win, you have a free ticket to the boot camp. Okay, it's going to be live. People on YouTube, if you do win the giveaway, you have access to our Getting Started Day Trading course. Getting Started Day Trading course, a 5-hour course that preps you, that brings you up to speed on everything you need to know as it pertains to day trading, from a fundamental standpoint, from a technical standpoint, from an option standpoint. Understand the put calls, puts, calls, Greeks, my 3A plus setups, chart patterns, all of that. That's what you're eligible to win. So all you need to do is put your name in the chat. Once you do win, you send me a DM in the free tier Discord. Speaking of Spy or winning, Spy continues to push higher, guys. Spy is officially direction on the daily, on the weekly. Okay, I'll cover that in just in a second here. I want to spin the wheel. I'll cover that in just a second here. Now, Spy is above that weekly upside breaker. So we're above. So we are above. Okay, we are above that weekly upside breaker. We're above last week's highs. So the buy up is continuing. Look at IW. IW went engulfing. The Dow went parabolic. The Dow is back in Friday's range. So in an uptrend, you scalp the puts into the next bounce area. If you're trading the trend, you wait for that next bounce area. Wait for the sellers to push it lower, come into a key level, come into those EMAs, and then you load back the other side. Okay, so those, both the bulls and bears, they coexist. All right, they need one another. They need one another. Okay. Okay, so the winners today. The winners. 10% on the lotto. Good. Great job extracting those profits. Winner today is Brandon B. Brandon B is the winner. Brandon B is the winner. Congratulations, Brandon B. Send me a DM in the Discord, in the WAP. Look at IW, guys. IW came right to that 261.54, broke it, bounced, used that fuel to break above that daily. And small caps is large and in charge. Okay. So the rotation is into small caps, then into the tech names today. Okay, small caps, and then into semiconductor names, and then into the broader tech, mega cap tech. Interesting. Look at IW. So my IW traders, all eyes right now at 261.54. All right, now that's behind us. If you're looking for that retest, it's going to require some patience. 262.75. All right, but on that note, I'm done for trading. I'm done trading. The last lotto stopped out. Look at this, guys. What a pump here. Okay, do we get some news? Trump on countries that would help with Hormuz. Details tomorrow. Iran's timetable doesn't change. There is no fighting right now. I want the war to end. Have a good relationship with China, says the president. Okay, so winner. So we're looking at IW right there. Congrats, Brandon B. Clean this up a little bit. So Brandon B, send me a DM. Okay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You can send it to me in the Discord. Okay, private message in the Discord, Brandon. I just need your email address. Best email address to send you the link where the bootcamp takes place. Congratulations. So the fact that you're in our Discord makes things easier. Okay, look at that. Even though it pumps, if you don't have that exact entry, right, you're going to sit through a little back and forth. Okay, so on that note today, 3 trades. Stopped out on the last one on SPY. On those lottos on this wick. Apple worked in our favor. Google worked in our favor. And that'll be all the opportunities today. All right, so despite that stop out, maybe there was just a little bit of don't want the streak to die, not taking any trades on SPY on my end. But nonetheless, even though sometimes I do feel that, I'm not going to compromise on the risk. Are you still in Google? Nice. Thank you, Jasper. Is that same position from earlier? Look at Google, guys. Oh, your entry is way earlier, possibly. Jasper. So one of our traders, 360%, full circle. Full circle on Google. Maybe you have an entry down here, possibly. I'm assuming. But nonetheless, great job. Tremendous job. Tremendous job. Okay, so if you're caught chasing, it just seems like you're one step behind. All right, so it's almost like you have to be in front of these moves before they take place. But the big thing is, before we wrap up here, the big thing is, guys, let's jump over to the daily time frame and a weekly time frame. Let's get the broader picture here. Okay, what I do want to bring to your attention is this. The weekly, we are continuing to get bought back up. To bottom. So last week we reversed. This week is continuation. So this major resistance, okay, was being put to the test, and it's now leaning towards being support. So by the end of the day, Look at that engulfing candle on SPY. We got as high as up 8% off those lows. Okay, and now we are starting to take control, establish control at this major support, turn resistance, turn support. Okay, so now from where we are, just to give you some context, not saying we're going to make all-time highs, but look now how far we are. We're only 2% away. Only 15 points away. So we're right where we need to be. This is how quickly things change, guys. SPY is 53 points off of those lows that it saw in the beginning of end of March 30th. 4-day losing streak, 5-day buy up, ceasefire agreement. Agreement is, of course, falling apart, but doesn't matter. Market continues to push. All right. But it's easy because it's easy to say, hey, you know what? On the daily candle, we're engulfing. That doesn't do any justice. Intraday, it's been absolute warfare. Okay, it has not been easy at all. The action has not been easy at all. You have to really pick your spots effectively, right? And patience, key levels, and an ounce of luck. Meaning it has that reaction off your level fairly quickly. If it starts to get sticky, it can get very, very manipulative and choppy. So that's what we're seeing to kick off the first day of the week. Yeah, whether it's 1, whether it's 2, whether it's 200, Jasper, 360% is 360%. So tremendous job. Just make sure to take profits where you need to. Okay, so any questions, guys? Any questions before I wrap up? The main thing to watch now is, can we stay above that weekly upside breaker? Okay. All right, guys. Any questions, team? 380%. Look at that, guys. 380% Google. Beautiful. Lowest price. Got 2. Retest 30, 50. Good. All right, so again, tomorrow we come back. Tomorrow we look for the next opportunity. Tomorrow we look to stick to the plan. It's been a slugfest today on SPY, slugfest today on the indexes, but still within there, still within this action. There was some opportunities, not the cleanest opportunities. The one that I did shoot my shot for got stopped out instantaneously on those lottos. And I liked it. I like that mean reversion, but my risk is here. So what that means is, even though I like this mean reversion, if it gets above my risk, okay, then as much as I want to be right, I have to respect the risk. Okay, my whole system is predicated on me respecting the risk. If I don't respect my risk, I don't respect myself. That's what it comes down to. All right, so you got to make it to the point where it's almost like it's life or death. All right, of course, not life or death, but life or death from the standpoint of trading. Okay, you have to have that one thing that you're unwilling to compromise. All right, is there slippage? Absolutely. There's slippage sometimes. Things do happen. But if it's up to you, you'll do everything you can in your power to ensure that you're managing your risk. Okay? So on that note, guys, unless you have any questions, we'll look to wrap it up here. Thank you for tuning in. First episode of the week. Go back, watch to see how we navigate these conditions. Some of the opportunities we took earlier, how we manage those positions. This recording will be available in the daily recap. I'll make sure to continue to post those recaps in our Discord. If we have no questions, guys, we'll wrap it up here. And for those of you looking to join our community, guys, smartactiontrain.com. Again, 20 spots available. Once those fill up, the only thing available is a yearly. All right, yearly you can join anytime. Take advantage, join, use the code April. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Stay safe. If you're still in the trenches, okay, be very careful navigating these conditions. If you are looking to trade power hour, okay, know what you're looking to trade, have a good idea what setup you're looking for, have a good idea what key levels you're going to look to use. If you're done for the day, be done. If you're green, stay clean, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place, 9:30 a.m. Stay safe, and God bless each one of you.